has more.
He did announce that the administration will be spending $1 trillion on the military for the fiscal year. And at one point, though, he did say that major cities could serve as, quote, training grounds for the National Guard. Otherwise, this was more so rally the troops kind of speech, and a quick mention of the efforts to reach a peace deal in Gaza, with the president saying at one point about Hamas, quote, I hope they sign for their own good.
Armed federal agents are patrolling Chicago's streets, some in full tactical gear. Last week, they fired pepper balls and tear gas at protesters. Broadview Mayor Katrina Thompson.
ICE has to stop unprovoked chemical arms attacks on peaceful protesters and on journalists. This behavior is not normal. This is not Putin's Russia. This is the United States of America.
Chanel Cole reports Democrats are standing firm on their demands as a government shutdown looms.
They are saying they will not vote for anything that doesn't restore funding to healthcare that was cut by that so-called big, beautiful bill. Today, they talked about the impact those cuts could have on our access to healthcare. They're arguing that seniors will not be able to afford medication. They also argue that many families will simply forego getting critical care that they may need.
Drug maker Pfizer has agreed to lower drug costs under a deal with the administration. Pfizer will charge most favored nation pricing to Medicaid and guarantee that lower pricing on new drugs. It will also invest in more U.S. manufacturing. Scott McFarland reports the Trump administration is doing away with more oversight.
As one of its first acts in office in January, the Trump administration fired nearly a dozen federal inspectors general, watchdogs of police for waste, fraud, and abuse. Now they're cutting funding, effective Wednesday, to the Council on Inspectors General, an organization that helps serve 14,000 inspector general staffers with training, with resources, with investigative tools.
Michael Wallace reports prosecutors are asking a judge to sentence Sean Diddy Combs to more than 11 years in prison.
In a request filed with the court today, prosecutors say Combs is unrepentant. They included letters from some of his accusers who say they live in fear of his release. Combs was acquitted of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, but found guilty of 2 prostitution-related counts, each of which carries a maximum penalty of 10 years in prison.
Sentencing is set for Friday. On Wall Street at this hour, stocks are mixed. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. We offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today.
The stockpile of weapons local teens were caught with. That's coming up at first. KIRO Newsradio Traffic. Here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Heather. Global Credit Union's got our update. In Northgate, Linwood to Seattle is going to take you a half hour. You've got a hefty backup right now from 145th there in Shoreline down to 92nd, where we just cleared a couple lanes that were blocked for about 20 minutes, the scene of our earlier collision. So this will start to open up for you real quick. North 405 through Renton remains crowded from the Maple Valley Highway up past the VMAC. Renton to Bellevue is a 20-minute commute. Down in Pacific, northbound 167, you're sitting in a 1.5 mile bumper-to-bumper backup through those lane closures. You can easily bypass this by hopping over to the West Valley Highway. And in Olympia, North 5 at 14th Avenue, this is near Highway 101. State Patrol has that on-ramp closed. There isn't a collision on the ramp and no word yet what the cause is. No estimated time to reopen this. This report brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Heather Bosch. Seattle police arrest 4 teenagers after discovering a stockpile of weapons at an apartment near Rainier Beach High School. The cache includes a submachine gun, handguns with auto switches, drum magazines, and ammo. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman reports.
Seattle police say the group was allegedly involved in a shooting back on September 20th. But when officers spotted the teens, police stop! They took off and ditched their car. Officers were able to track the 4 teens down one by one.
On the ground. A man accused of stabbing to death his girlfriend and her roommate in Burien faced a judge. 29-year-old Marvin Ortiz Montesinos pleaded not guilty yesterday. He remains behind bars on $10 million bail. The family of a 13-year-old boy is suing the city of Everett after his neck struck a braided cable while he was e-biking. A friend of the boy's family told KIRO 7 TV.
It cut his vocal cords. He went back running as fast as he could without being able to catch any air. Back to his friends. He wanted to get their attention to call 911.
Emiliano Munoz died. His family tells the Everett Herald the city should have taken down that cable, which was strung between a fence post and a traffic bollard. The city doesn't comment on pending litigation. A driver has been cited for damaging the State Route 167 bridge near Pacific.
The official police report says the 70-year-old truck driver was cited for negligent driving in the second degree and given a $564 ticket. Pacific Police reports the driver was behind the wheel of a large dump truck when it hit the bridge. The driver had just delivered a load but drove off with the truck bed in the up position. The driver told police he didn't realize that the bed was stuck. Chris Sullivan, KIRO News Radio.
You have just a few hours left to receive a federal tax credit when you buy an electric vehicle. The deal expires at midnight. More from KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin.
The federal tax credit was passed by the Biden administration back in 2022. The incentive is $7,500 for new EVs and $4,000 for used. Experts say without the tax credit, the demand for electric vehicles will go down. Washington got rid of its state tax exemption for EVs earlier this year, but officials say they're going to keep pushing toward less pollution and even using funds from the Climate Commitment Act for clean energy and expanded charging.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing showers with highs in the mid-60s. It's 67 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. It's the all-new Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio.
Welcome to the show. Happy Tuesday, September 30th. We're almost there. We're almost to October. Everybody's very excited about it. It's fall, pumpkin season. You can carve a pumpkin if you want without feeling like a weirdo.
Crisp in the air. Can you feel it? Crisp.
It is crisp in the air.
It is. I love it.
The mornings are a little colder. The nights are a little darker. It's a cozy time. Jake Skorheim here. Spike O'Neill there.
Hey, buddy.
A lot of good show today ahead of us.
You
excited?
I am very excited about today's show.
Pumped to talk about this. Tons of stuff to get to. The number one story that we're going to start with should shock you. I was shocked. Spike, you were shocked.
I'm kind of physically afraid of this story.
I'm physically afraid. We should all be. This is very dangerous.
It is shocking is the best word for this, because in this day and age.
Yeah. What year is this? Are we living in the coal mines here? What is this? This is a horribly shocking number. Laura, were you shocked by the story as well? Let's see how many times I can say shocked.
Yes and no, because I went to public schools and the water always tasted a little bit weird.
Okay. What Laura's talking about,
like a tang.
What Laura's talking about is they test for public school lead in water systems, and there is a school up in Bellingham called Silver Beach Elementary in Bellingham on the glistening shores of Lake Whatcom, which is a beautiful area. I lived up in Bellingham for a very short time.
Is Whatcom the one that's right alongside the freeway?
Yes.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
It is beautiful. Yeah, really, really nice. Lake Whatcom is a gorgeous area, but at one of their schools, in fact, at a number of schools, they have higher than safe lead content in their water. And listen to this, at one of the schools, they found 970 times the amount currently allowed under state law. They tested their water. 970. It's almost 1,000 times what's acceptable for human consumption at an elementary school. How is that possible?
I don't want to use the word shocking, but it's no other way to describe it.
That's our word of the day today.
I would think that twice the level of acceptable lead content in drinking water is alarming.
Would be too much.
Right?
Would be too much.
1,000 times?
1,000's a lot, yeah. I mean, technically 970, but, we can round up when it's 970
when it's
times.
When it's going to, kill a kid or two. It's,
limit allowed.
Yeah.
So what they found was that the water testing in room 7 at the Silver Beach Elementary School in Bellingham revealed 4,853 parts per billion of lead. And again, I don't even know how you get that. Are you just literally like shoving number 2 Ticonderoga pencils down the drain?
No, that's graphite.
Is that graphite?
I think, yeah. It's the plumbing, duh. It's the plumbing. It's antiquated, antique, out of date, dangerous lead pipe plumbing. that's leaching into the water.
Yeah.
And do you remember Flint, Michigan?
Oh, yeah.
When they brought in, they diverted the water source to the city of Flint. It
was a huge national story.
Corroded the lead pipes that leached into the water, and there was just a national outcry for what are we doing to the safety of these kids? I'm looking at this number of schools affected by this.
You don't think about that in Bellingham.
No.
And this is not just Bellingham, like you're about to say. This is statewide. Edmonds, Kent, all these places are testing very unsafe. And you got to ask yourself, why are they not addressing this issue? And why haven't, up until 2021, did you see this? There was a state law that was just introduced. I believe this was in 2021. Where they had to start testing for these things and showing what the levels were, because before then it was voluntary. You didn't have to disclose this information, which doesn't make any sense to me. This is
this you know me. I never met a government that I didn't think could be bigger and better.
Mm-hmm.
I like government intrusion in my life, especially when it comes to keeping the water in our schools safe for the kids.
Sure.
This is the kind of stuff that you have to do this.
Well, yeah, you gotta
well, until 21.
Nip this lead thing in the bud.
Nobody thought of it until 21. What blows my mind is that nearly 1,200 schools in the state tested for dangerous amounts, unacceptable amounts of lead in the drinking water in the schools. 26% of the schools in the state of Washington have a high enough level of lead content to require immediate shutdowns of these schools.
Yes, yeah.
26% of every school in Washington.
Like you said, 1,189 schools tested above the allowable 5 parts per billion. And again, that one in Bellingham was almost 5,000. So this is 5 parts per billion. That's the acceptable amount. A quarter of those schools could be shut down immediately under current law, under Washington state law. That's a real problem. This is the chief operating officer for Bellingham Schools. She talked to King 5.
It is really, really important to us to provide a healthy and safe environment for all kids.
What did you think of the numbers that came out of here?
Oh, it was alarming. And it was, we got a phone call right away from the Department of Health, really appreciated it. And we just leapt into action. We've taken this very seriously and worked really hard to be really proactive.
We leapt into action. We put some yellow tape on the water fountain, and we said, don't drink from the water fountain. Bring a water bottle from home, kids.
Well, it's
Hope
funny.
you're not thirsty at school.
And this story came to us from King 5, and it lists like the particular drinking fountains and sinks in particular schools that tested positive for lead. A wood shop sink at Sky Valley Educational Center in Monroe. A classroom sink at Grey Wolf Elementary in Sequim. A sink in the cosmetology lab in New Market Skill Center.
These are just some of the crazy high ones. That's
yeah,
so there's a lot more than just these 4 that are listed here.
Yeah, of course. But my point being, isn't the entire school's water system compromised? And it's not just the sink in the wood shop or the classroom at Sherwood Elementary in my neighborhood that has, the 332 parts per billion. Real quick, that's, I don't know, nearly 400 times the acceptable limits of lead. Does every school have such antiquated piping?
It sounds like it. Listen to this. Officials in Edmonds, Sequim, and Tumwater school districts declined repeated interview requests. They have all said
they were out buying bottled water.
Yeah, no kidding. They all said repairs have been made or fixtures have been shut off. And there is no ongoing health issue, they claim. So this is the Whatcom County health officer talking about the dangers of lead. And then I have a question for all these school districts that I would like to get into with you. Because this raises a large concern for me, as it does for many others.
As a father of 3 kids in elementary schools.
Yeah, but all right, we'll get into it in just a second. But this is the Whatcom County health officer, Dr. Amy Harley, talking to King 5.
There's no safe level of lead exposure, especially for children who are particularly vulnerable to the toxic effects of lead, as their brains and bodies are still growing and developing.
This is a parent. This is her name is Cheryl. Her children are in the Kent School District.
It's terrifying. I can't understand why my kids don't have access to clean water at their school. It's been confusing. We don't understand what they're actually doing. Are they replacing all fixtures? Are they replacing just some of the fixtures?
This is an Edmonds parent whose name is Marissa, who talked to King 5.
Today I'm bringing waters to my elementary school for Sherwood. Since I know that this is an older school and this area, contains a lot of older homes, it's not really that surprising, but it is concerning for our kids.
Okay, here's the surprising part and the concerning part for me. What are you doing with all the money that they're spending on these schools? The budgets of these districts, specifically the Bellingham one that we started off the segment with.
Right.
Do you know what Bellingham's yearly budget is up in Bellingham, which is a tiny little town? and only has 10,000 students. It's not small, but
for
it's
the
not
entirety
massive.
of the school district, you mean?
For the entire school district, what is Bellingham's yearly budget?
Oh, I never get I've never have any idea of the scope.
These are just fun for me.
No, I hear you.
I like
No,
these
and-
guesses
and I
because
can't-
it's always a surprising number.
It is. I can't fathom the scope of the budget of these particular. Is it $20 million a year?
The problem with these things is like you're sending them so much money. I don't know where that money's going. And then you have a story like this where you have 1,000 times the acceptable amount of lead in the water system, and they go, oh man, if we only had the money, we could fix it. But we're sending them so much money. I mean, I don't live in Bellingham, so I'm not sending them.
Right,
but some
right.
people listening right now who live in that area are sending them their tax dollars. And why aren't they fixing these problems? So what was your guess in
20?
Bellingham?
20 million?
20 million. Keep going.
40 million?
$233 million a year. It's always 10
1,000 times. Sorry.
No, it's always like 10 times what you guess.
It really is. It really is.
So why is it if you have $250 million a year to service 10,000 students, I'm sorry, about 11,000, let's round up, 10,949 students. Why is it that they don't have clean drinking water in arguably one of the most pristine, beautiful places in the country?
Yeah, seriously.
Bellingham.
Yeah.
Aren't they always
It's not Flint. It's not Brooklyn.
It's not Flint. Aren't they always on top of the list for like the cleanest air? Because they have that wind that blows in. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a great question. So my main concern, other than why the kids they
Being
shut
poisoned by lead.
Right. They say they've swapped out fixtures. Does the lead come from a fixture, like the mouthpiece of a drinking fountain that is old, and that's where the lead's coming from? Is it coming from the pipes that feed the school?
I don't know where it comes from. I'm not obviously.
Right.
I'm not a.
But that's as a parent, that would be my concern. Well, okay.
Ironically, you know what's funny? When I was living in Bellingham, when I was in college, I was going to go to school up there, and then got very homesick and decided to go home. But while I was living up there in the summer before school was to start, I got a job as a college painter. Have you ever seen those like college paint crews?
College pros, right? Or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so you do have a lot of old houses up in Bellingham.
Yeah.
It's part of the charm of Bellingham.
Sure.
I lived off Chuckanut Drive. It was a gorgeous area.
Wow.
Wonderful summer. And one of the things that you would have to do, we used to have to go around every time we paint a house. If they wanted you to strip the house paint before you
scrape off the
sand it down, get rid of the old
Prep
paint. You're doing all the prep. You would go around with these little lead kits, these lead testing kits. And it was basically just like a wipe. You wipe it on there, you put in the thing. If the water turns blue, you got lead.
Yeah.
You can't scrape it off the house. At that point, you have to either get like a specialized crew to come.
thing.
It's a hazmat thing. So you got to get a specialized crew to come in, or what people would oftentimes have you do is just paint over it, even if it's like ugly and.
I got you.
Just paint over it.
When it's airborne, it becomes much more dangerous.
Yes.
As you scrape and dust.
It's also really expensive.
Yeah.
To get that stuff off your house, it's way more expensive than hiring bargain basement college paint crews just to paint your house.
Right.
So I understand that lead can be an issue in older areas, and I imagine that Bellingham has some older schools. But if you're spending $250 million a year, and all it takes is switching out drinking fountain caps or whatever they said it was, faucets, isn't that the kind of thing that you would expect them to be totally on top of?
Should be job one, right?
Job one.
Well, textbooks, then lunch.
Safety for the kids.
Yeah, safety
I mean,
for
don't you think the health and safety of the kids is actually job one?
Absolutely.
You can't learn an environment where you have lead poisoning.
And you can't have...
Where your IQ is dropping.
Your IQ is literally dropping.
Voluntarily.
That's it. Right. That's exactly what we saw with the horrific situation in Flint. Was it affected brain development?
Yes. At these kids in these incredibly, tender time in life where you're developing. So the superintendent in Kent makes in Bellingham, $386,058 a year. Pretty good pay to have so much lead in your water fountains. Let's move down to Kent, which was the other one that we talked about. That was the woman in Kent who said, listen, I don't know what's going on. I want to make sure my kids are safe. Kent School District. I don't even want to make you guess at this. This is crazy. Because it's fun. It's a fun thing to do.
Okay, I'm learning from 350.
350 is your guess? Mm-hmm. Kent School District, yearly budget?
Yeah.
2024, $632 million. Lead. $632 million. Lead. Superintendent, $374,000. $374,141.
Plus 4 weeks vacation and all the bottled water.
All the free water you can drink.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Don't you do that today? Don't you put bottled water in these schools today?
You know what I would do? I would do the Erin Brockovich scene where she walks in with that pitcher of water.
Oh yeah, we got that special.
We brought that special for you
from a fountain in the wood shop at Sky Valley Educational Center. Yeah.
I don't think that all these people have bad intentions. But I do think if you're spending in Kent more than $500 million on education for kids, that money needs to first and foremost make sure those kids don't get lead poisoning.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree on that.
Of course we do. And school budgets are stretched very thin. What do you get rid of? So there goes
administrative pay, obviously.
That's always we've already scrapped band. Right?
Okay, before we get rid of music.
No new helmets for the football team.
No new helmets, no music, no band, no art programs. They cut all that stuff out.
They do. It's first to go.
They get rid of all that. You know what they never do? They never roll back the pay of the executive staff, the administrative staff. Have you ever seen that happen?
No, not really.
No. If you're a parent in that district, which I know you are, in Edmonds, what would you rather see? Would you rather see some of the administrators lose some of their high salaries? Or would you rather see lead poisoning in the school?
Let me think about now.
And you only have those two choices.
Yeah. I say we get rid of the Tesla charging station in the administrator's private parking spot.
Perfect.
And maybe swap out the lead-based mouthpieces on the drinking fountains and the tap in the wood shop room.
This is Jerry Paula. He's a state rep. He is a health environment instructor at University of Washington. He sponsored the 21 legislation that we talked about that uncovered this crisis and forced the schools to actually report these things instead of just voluntarily ignore them.
We're finding incredibly high levels of lead. The medical science says at 15 parts per billion, your child is likely to lose some significant IQ points.
What?
Is this law doing what you intended?
They would never have learned about the lead in those faucets. It's clearly a success, this law.
At 15 parts per billion, you're losing IQ points. And in Bellingham, they had, what was the number?
970 times, 4,853 parts.
4,853 parts per billion. You literally, the second you walk in that door, you don't have to drink the water. You're just not learning anything because there's so much lead in the water.
There's moisture in the air.
Just proximity to that fountain. You just walk by and you get dumber.
Well, so much for blaming teachers for the low test scores, huh?
Yeah.
Can we at least take that off the table?
It's lead poisoning.
It's lead poisoning.
We solved the problem. Spike, you genius.
Thank God for this law.
But it hasn't. That was 5 years ago. 5 years ago.
But we wouldn't even know.
No, I know.
For this law.
It's great that they had it 5 years ago, and now we have 1,000 times the acceptable amount.
That's crazy.
That's insane. Let's do Edmonds just because I'm having too much fun with this.
That's my neighborhood.
Let's have fun because it's your neighborhood. In Edmonds, where they have some of these issues.
17 billion. I'm gonna go high.
17 billion. Okay, so at Sherwood Elementary, one elementary in Edmonds, a parent there learned that they had 25 water outlets that tested above human safe limits. Just at one elementary, 25. 25. That's crazy.
And that's
Edmonds School District.
Probably built in the 50s or 60s, that school. I've been by it 1,000 times.
So what are you spending your money on? What is Edmonds spending their money on if all these schools have lead problems? Well, I know I'm asking that facetiously.
No,
I know what they're spending.
I know they got a new playground on the yard there.
Great.
I've seen that. That's wonderful.
At least the kids get to
brightly
enjoy that.
Colored. Yeah.
So let's take a guess. What's Edmonds' budget per year? Now, you live there. You have a better sense.
I do.
You should be closest to this one.
Well, if Kent's getting, I'm going to guess it's close to $1 billion a year.
No, it's significantly smaller than Kent.
Oh, is it real? Oh, well, because it's a smaller. Sure,
it's a smaller community.
I was thinking about the property values,
but
which
it's
are
still not
higher.
It's still not crazy. It's $452 million a year. It goes to Edmonds School District, and again, that's a much smaller district. Their superintendent, $367,802 a year.
That seems to be pretty much the going rate for a good superintendent for schools. Is that a third of $1 million a year?
Good is an interesting choice of words, but yes, that seems to be the going rate for the
high end superintendent.
Yeah. Well, are you implying that means they're good at their job?
I would hope. I would hope.
Lead poisoning would say otherwise.
I don't think the superintendent has a hand in that.
Why not?
Well, you test when you're supposed to test. When you find a problem, here's the thing. Are they a good superintendent? Do they fix this problem without gutting every other service the school offers, right?
I think they should volunteer some of their pay and fix these water outlets.
Maybe their weekends.
Maybe their weekends.
Save a little money
Come in and fix them.
Yeah, right?
Do it yourself. A little DIY.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I don't think you need 7 assistant superintendents. I think that's also something that we can talk about.
Unless one of them's got plumbing skills, that's the guy you keep.
Keep that one.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, a tradesman. Keep a tradesman. They know what to do. AI can't fix that job. All right, let's see here. We got a lot more coming up. You're not going to want to miss a second of it. Coming up next on the show, we've got some updates. What's going on down in Portland there?
Yeah.
Governor of Portland took a walk through the city, and she says, hey, things are looking good.
I noticed it was broad daylight.
It was broad daylight.
I didn't want to point it out, but I noticed right off the bat.
Did they stop and get a nice Pinot?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that next. Stick around. Be right back.
A Chi and Ursula exclusive on KIRO News Radio.
There it is, number 60, Cal Raleigh.
A guy did catch it. He gave it to this young boy in the stands. And we are joined by that boy's father, Galen Ruelos.
He caught it. He didn't have to do it. It was a complete random act of kindness to my son. You know, he's a 12-year-old, 6th grader, and just overcome with emotion. He starts bawling.
Hear the full conversation on the KIRO News Radio app and KIRO News Radio on YouTube.
Hey, Spike O'Neill for Integrity Roofing and Construction. You've been hearing me rave about Integrity for a while now. Guess what Integrity is doing in the month of October? They're giving away a free roof to someone in need. That's right, a free roof. Who does that? You can nominate someone that you know on their site, integrityrc.com. Click on the Integrity Cares page and nominate someone in need, maybe even yourself. What a huge opportunity for somebody to upgrade their home, protect their home. Go nominate someone today at integrityrc.com. Click on the Integrity Cares page now. integrityrc.com. Doing the right thing matters.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
If you use carpool or toll lanes along SR 167, some things are about to change, and some things aren't. If you ride without a Good-to-Go account, you'll receive a bill in the mail. That is a change. Having Good-to-Go means it'll cost less than pay by mail. Not a change. Carpoolers will need a Flex Pass set to HOV mode to ride free. That's a change. A Good-to-Go pass saves you $2 on every toll. No change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com. Free Flex Passes while supplies last.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you tried online gaming. Who knew 12-year-old boys could be so mean? And where did they learn to swear like that? 2 hours of losing to these underage trash talkers, and you're starting to question if maybe you really should stick to pickleball and other boomer stuff. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
There it goes! Storybook season by Cal Raleigh. He has done it!
2026 Mariners season ticket memberships are on sale now, and the benefits start right away. Members get priority pre-sale access to ALCS and World Series games at T-Mobile Park. So come on board today with one of two great options. Reserved memberships let you lock in the best locations in the ballpark so you can make your favorite spot home all summer long. Whether you want to catch 20 games or the whole season.
Oh, he makes the catch. What a snag by Julio Rodriguez.
Or go with a flex membership, which gives you the freedom to choose your seats, games, and number of tickets as you go. Terrace Club, bleachers, right behind the dugout, divvy it up however you want. This season's been a whole lot of fun, and you won't want to miss out in 2026. Become a member today at mariners.com/26.
The Mariners, their third consecutive shutout win.
Mariners baseball. Seize the moment.
Whatever temperatures this winter brings, your friendly and knowledgeable Bryant dealer is ready to help. Your dealer is committed to achieving a high level of training and skills, backed by outstanding products from one of the industry's most trusted names, Bryant. Whether you need a quick fix or an entirely new heating system, your local Bryant dealer will do whatever it takes for your family's comfort.
Schedule an appointment today. Visit BryantNorthwest.com for a dealer near you. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Homes are sitting, but the bottleneck's about to break. Set yourself up for success by working with the Novak team. Mike Novak guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If not, he sells it for free. Go to meetthenovaks.com. That's meetthenovaks, NOVAKS.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Heather Bosch. 200 National Guards members are being sent to Portland this week. The president claiming ICE officers are under threat from Antifa and domestic terrorists. More from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Tension in the air outside this ICE facility in southwest Portland as 200 National Guard troops are expected here by Thursday, despite a lawsuit from the state of Oregon to stop them. For many residents like Dave, troops in his city is too much.
It's absurd and it's offensive as somebody who lives in Portland.
No word if those troops will be armed or not. In Portland, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
President Trump today revealed a new purpose for sending troops into U.S. cities.
We should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard, but military. Because we're going into Chicago very soon. That's a big city.
Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell and Attorney General Nick Brown say President Trump has not announced firm plans to send troops here. However,
they hear the threats from the federal government. To those threats, A.G. Brown says,
Washingtonians have spent many years loudly and clearly rejecting his vision for America. And it's entirely possible, based on the president's comments, that what we are seeing in Portland will be attempted here.
Mayor Harrell plans to sign a new executive order to strengthen policies and improve coordination in the state. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told hundreds of U.S. generals today that he's changing his department's name to the Department of War, and he stressed,
the only people who actually deserve peace are those who are willing to wage war to defend it. That's why pacifism is so naive and dangerous. It ignores human nature and it ignores human history.
Seattle's minimum wage is going up by more than 50 cents. Starting January 1st, it'll rise to $21.30 per hour. The Office of Labor Standards says the increase reflects inflation based on the Consumer Price Index for the Seattle-Tacoma-Bellevue area. A popular chicken chain is coming to Seattle. Raising Cane plans to open a restaurant in the University District. The Puget Sound Business Journal says the second location is in the works for Linwood. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 39 points. NASDAQ ahead 34. KIRO News Radio traffic. Here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Heather. Let's start you in Northgate, Linwood to Seattle, 25-30-minute commute still. We've got a thick backup from 130th down to 92nd, where we still have a half dozen cars sitting on your right shoulder. Drivers are slowing down at the scene, but once you get past this, you're in the clear. Our lake bridges are wide open, both directions. Southbound 405, we're seeing building volumes now between Factoria and Northeast 44th and Renton. Bellevue to Renton, though, still looking good at 15 minutes. If you're heading through Tukwila, eastbound 518 is slow from Highway 99 over to I-5, where we've got a collision on the right shoulder just before the I-5 on-ramps. Olympia, North 5 at 14th Avenue, that off-ramp remains fully blocked. Turns out a car was in the ditch. That's why I didn't see it on my camera, but a tow has it hooked up now, and this ramp should be reopening soon. Some drive times for you. Tacoma to Olympia, just a half hour. Federal Way to Seattle, 25 minutes, and Seattle to Everett, a half hour. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing showers today with highs in the mid-60s. It's 67 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. Let's take a little trip down south, 3 hours to the City of Roses. Is that what it's called? Portland? It's the City of Roses?
Rose City.
Rose
Yeah,
City.
yeah.
Rose City, not
Or
the
City of Roses. Oh, City of Roses probably flies.
What is City? Where is the City of Roses? That feels like a different place. Rose City? It's not City of Roses. Rose City.
Is Rose City?
Rose City.
Portland's a Rose City?
All right, Portland's Rose City. A rose by any other name would smell a sweet.
Pretty bad most days.
Pretty bad most days in Portland.
Been there, done that.
All right, so here's what's going on in Portland right now. You have the Portland ICE detention facility, which has been thrust into the national limelight. You have the Trump administration who said they're going to send in federal troops to guard the ICE facility. You have the governor of Portland, Tina Kotek, who is saying...
Oregon.
I'm sorry, governor of Oregon.
It's okay.
Yes, Oregon. Portland being the largest city in question that we're talking about here. But yes, you're right. Governor of Oregon saying we don't need any federal help. Things are great here, and don't worry about it. She released a text exchange, which I thought was kind of interesting, a public records request, but then released to the governor's office, that she had with the president. And did you see this exchange?
It was with a member of his staff, though, right? Yeah.
Well,
speaking.
He was clearly speaking to her through the member of staff. That's what they say in the Oregonian piece.
Okay, got it.
But there is a clear back and forth where they're disagreeing on whether or not troops are needed in the area. And she then also put this video out, and I think we can play this video on YouTube if anybody wants to watch this. And I was struck by something in the video, and I wondered if you guys had the same thought. But let's go ahead and play it, Laura, and then we can talk about it in just a second. This is Tina
Hello,
Kotek.
Oregon. Governor Kotek here. Contrary to President Trump's latest social media post, Portland is not war-ravaged. There's no insurrection. There's no threat to national security, and there's no need for military troops. Military service members should be dedicated to real emergencies. And that's exactly what I said to the president when I asked him to stand down from sending federal troops into our city. But just in case that phone call wasn't enough, I thought I would take to the streets myself right here in downtown Portland. I'm standing just blocks away from the waterfront, overlooking the beautiful Willamette River. Portland City Hall, the federal courthouse, and dozens of shops and restaurants here in the central city. We do have challenges here in Portland, in Oregon, and across the country. The cost of living is too high. We need to build more housing that people can afford. And we need to always work on having the best schools possible. Yes. So let's keep the focus on the real problems, not the made-up ones.
Were you struck by anything in particular in that video?
I apologize if I kind of stole your thunder last couple minutes ago.
No, please.
Broad daylight.
It's broad daylight.
And she's close to, but not at, the ICE detention facility.
Yes.
The area in question, the area where the president felt that the federal agency there needed its assistance.
Which is where they said they would be sending them. They're not going to be sending them down to the Willamette River and the federal courthouse and the beautiful wine bars.
Right, yeah.
That's not where they're being sent.
I don't think you're allowed to drink Pinot Noir on the clock when you're working for the National Guard.
I would hope not.
After hours, of course.
After hours,
of course.
I hear, according to X-Post,
responsibly,
by New York Times columnist, he says President Trump has dispatched federal troops to what he calls war-ravaged Portland. Kotek made that same claim there just a second ago.
Yeah.
Portland has its problems, but it's not the hell Trump claims. It remains a food and wine heaven. Hell does not serve Pinot Noir this good.
Yes. Does he know that for a fact?
I don't know.
I would venture to guess that.
I don't think he knows that for a fact.
Hell has various strata, right? Where some people in hell have it a little better than others.
It's generally served chilled, so I don't know if that's going to be as good.
Good point.
Here's what I think was absent from the video. Now, you said,
what'd you see?
They're not sending the troops into the area that the governor's walking around. But two, you notice what she mentions there? Portland has its real problems, she said. We've got housing problems. We've got, we want to make sure we have the best schools.
Affordable housing, she cited, best schools.
Best schools, always important.
Yeah.
I do feel like she's stuck in a different reality, though. Do you know where I think she's living?
A few problems that she might have missed, you're thinking?
I think there's a couple things she's not mentioning, but I also think that she's not living in Portland, she's living in Portlandia.
Do you remember the 90s?
Yeah.
You know, people were talking about getting piercings and getting tribal tattoos.
Yeah.
Remember when people were content to be unambitious.
This is a great show, by the way.
It really is.
Sleep till 11, and just hang out with their friends. I mean, he had no occupations whatsoever. Maybe working a couple hours a week at a coffee shop.
Right? I thought that died out a long time ago.
Not in Portland. Portland is a city where young people go to retire.
I love that's the best line.
Dream of the 90s is alive, Portland. The tattoo ink never runs dry.
So I honestly, I do think that's her problem. I don't think she's living in reality. I think she's living in Portlandia, which is a charming place.
Yeah.
The problem is that that in Portlandia, you're dealing with issues like making sure that your chicken is sustainably raised before you order it at a restaurant.
Yeah.
And the Pinot Noir mentioned there by the New York Times columnist. What you're not dealing with is, and what she didn't mention in the video, which I do think is really a shame that she didn't mention it because she's purposefully not mentioning it. They have a massive drug problem in Portland.
Yeah,
massive.
I worked in the city for about a year.
You worked there.
I worked there in 2023. I worked in the city of Portland. Drove down every week to do sales in the city of Portland. So I had to drive around town all week long, trying to generate new business for the company I worked for, TV station I worked for.
As you were driving around, were your eyes drawn to the high home prices and the questionable school ratings, or what were you noticing?
What I noticed was the out of control homeless situation in Portland.
Yep.
Public drug use in Portland.
Yep.
And let me be clear, there are wonderful parts of Portland. There really are, but there are also troubled parts of Portland.
I got family down there who live on the aforementioned Willamette. Is it pronounced Willamette or Willamette? It's a Willamette.
Willamette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My aunt and uncle live on the Willamette. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Every time we go down there, you get in the kayak and you paddle around. It's really nice.
I camped when I lived in Portland. I told you about this.
No.
I would drive down to Portland every week and do sales.
And you would camp?
I would literally, I'd drive down on Tuesday morning, and I would go to work. And at lunchtime on Tuesday, I would go to the local KOA campground.
Oh, fun.
About 20 minutes east of the city.
I thought you were going to say like in a city park.
Just outside of the parking lot of the station. It's funny you mentioned that because the station had a station parking lot, right?
Sure.
That was a parking lot ringed in high fencing with barbed wire across the top because there was a homeless encampment.
You sure that wasn't just a design feature?
It may have been.
Was it just because it's so beautiful?
It was aesthetically pleasing.
Why didn't Governor Kotek walk around those? Why didn't she try to hop over one of those?
I don't know, but I had noticed that they mentioned it. The razor barbed wire was fashioned in the shape of roses.
Oh, that's
above
nice.
Above the Constantino wire was rose. It's wonderful.
It's those little touches.
It's little touches. Yeah, the city's got problems. But I would also come to the defense of the governor.
Sure.
It's not a war zone. It's got problems. The ICE detention facility has been under siege.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're taking down taking down trees and making battering rams to take down the doors. But
it's funny you mentioned that. They're using stop signs for that very purpose.
Yeah,
those
weren't old growth. Those were second growth stop signs, to be fair.
No, but isn't that funny?
Yeah, for a battering ram.
They literally did the exact thing that you used as a joke in reality, and they used a much worse thing, which was a stop sign.
That's Portlandia.
That's Portland.
Now, not only is the door integrity compromised, but there's a traffic situation now.
I want you to finish defending the governor if you want, and then I have one more point.
Well, the president has sent the National Guard to protect the federal facilities and the agents who are working there, and I think that's acceptable.
Yeah,
I really do.
I agree, and I don't think he should send them out to the rest of the city.
Right.
I do not think he should do that.
When Trump did this in California, when President Trump, pardon my lack of respect, when President Trump did this in California, a court ruled that yes, you can send troops to defend the federal properties in California, but not just to blanket the city.
Yeah,
and yesterday we had Jason Rantz on. He made a good point. This isn't about crime or drugs in Portland, which are a problem, which don't need federal intervention like they did in D.C. What he wants to do is protect the federal facilities. So this ICE detention center in general.
Portland's not going to do it. Somebody needs to do it. Here's my last point that I think she missed hugely.
Sure.
I know we got to get to commercial break.
No, we got all the time in the world. We can come
I would like you to take a guess. You don't have to because I don't want to put you on the spot if you don't want to. But if you want to.
365 million. That's just my number I'm going with now.
How many overdose deaths did Portland have last year in 2024? How many people died on the streets of drug overdoses? The body was laying in the street and they were just dead. Because she didn't put any of them in the video. And that would be a question I'd ask you. And I have the number.
Did you notice her stepping over anything in the video that they didn't show her feet?
When she's hopping?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was suspiciously just waist up.
27. 27
overdose deaths?
Yeah. That's what I'm guessing.
That's your guess?
That's what I'm guessing, yeah.
In the city of Portland?
Yeah. Yeah, this is a valid, legitimate guess.
I'm going to tell you when we come back.
Okay.
You're going to be shocked at the number.
Okay, it was 2? No kidding.
We'll be right back.
Deep to right field. There it is, number 60.
He's Rick Riz, the voice of the Mariners for 40 years. And every Thursday morning at 7:15, it's the Rick Riz Show with Seattle's Morning News.
Winning the AL West, what this means for fans and how important this is.
My goodness, it's the first time in 24 years. Think about it. 24 years ago, Ichiro was a rookie. There's the joy behind that feeling.
Get the full conversation on the KIRO Newsradio app and at mynorthwest.com.
Hey, you know what's stressful? A leaky roof. Because you typically don't find out it's leaking until the water makes its way through the insulation and the drywall in your ceiling starts swelling up and it sags and it drips. It's the worst. Then you're freaked out wondering if there's mold in your house. I get it. That's why I got Valentine Roofing. Valentine has a leak stop guarantee. They'll stop the leak in your old roof for free until your brand new Valentine roof can be safely installed. Because Valentine doesn't just replace roofs, they protect homes. And they start protecting yours the moment you call. No stress, no mess, no more buckets in the living room. The wet weather's coming. So if you want to take advantage of their free roof inspection, I encourage you to call and get the Valentine experience. That's seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, extra mile service, and every new roof is backed by a lifetime warranty. That's a lifetime warranty. And with zero down financing for most projects, you can get the work done now and pay over time. So stop the leaks before they start. Call 206 Roofing to get your free estimate today. That's 206 Roofing.
Have you stopped to think about how you feel today compared to, say, 10 years ago? Are you noticing changes? Less energy, slow recovery, trouble focusing, maybe even weight gain? What if you could turn back the clock and feel stronger, sharper, and more alive? At Longevity Medical Clinic, we help people do exactly that. For over 3 decades, we've been helping thousands of men and women find out what's really going on inside their bodies and take action to feel better and live longer. With advanced diagnostics and personalized hormone and supplement plans, we uncover what's been holding you back and show you how to optimize your health. Our patients often say, "Now I finally understand what's happening and what to do about it." Take the first step today. Call 866-86-YOUNG or visit lmclinic.com to schedule your free consultation. Longevity Medical Clinic. Feel better. Live longer. Let's do it together.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/radio for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
If you use the carpool or toll lanes along SR 167 without a Good to Go account, you'll soon receive a bill in the mail. That is a change. A Good to Go pass saves $2 on every toll. That is not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
Hey, it's John Curley with some great news. If your home's heating or cooling is uneven, noisy, or expensive, listen up. The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump System from Home Comfort Alliance is changing the game. It gives you room-by-room control and next-gen efficiency, so you're only heating where you need it. That means real comfort and real savings, and every Quilt system qualifies for max tax credits. Trusted for 50 years. Call the comfort people today at homecomfortalliance.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. We're going to get to sports in just a second, but before the break, we were talking about Oregon Governor Tina Kotek's little walk around Portland to show how beautiful it was. And
disputing the president's claim that it's a war zone.
Yes. And I asked the question to you. I said, hey, do you have a guess at how many overdose deaths? Because Oregon has a massive drug problem.
Yeah.
That she did not show any in the video, and that wasn't part of what she was the message she was trying to push out there at all. And I asked you to guess at how many overdose deaths from drugs in 2024 in the city of Portland.
Yeah.
And
I
your
guess 27.
27.
Yeah.
Would the number of 1,480 surprise you? Wow. Almost 1,500 people died of drug overdose in Portland. So the idea that she's walking around the city, that's a tragic number. It's horrible.
It's horrible.
Seattle, just a
tenth of that would have made my jaw drop.
I know. It's very sad. And those are the numbers where you just kind of go, it's just such a massive problem. Where to even start to fix that problem, but also to walk around like she did in that video and pretend that that's not one of the main issues that people in Portland care about. Just think about that for a second. And we'll get to sports in just a second, but 1,500 lives, people on the streets dead. That's like a horror movie from drug overdose. Those are wasted lives.
It is.
And if you don't have a city who's willing to, and you don't have leadership who's willing to step in and fix that problem in a meaningful way, that number's just going to continue on and on and on.
If you're not addressing the problem.
If you don't address the problem. King County. Now, some of these numbers are on the downslope. Some of these are getting better. Like King County, 2 years ago, in 23, they had 1,340 confirmed overdose deaths in King County. That's insane.
Yeah.
But in 2024, the number was better. It was only 1,047. So hopefully they're getting a handle on some of these. But over 1,000 is too many. And
when you think that Portland's about, they're about less than 1 million. There's 700,000 people, I think, is the population of Portland.
I think of the general,
and we have 3 times that population in Seattle, and they have more overdose deaths in Portland.
More overdose deaths. So don't you think that's something that she should have mentioned in her video? She's talking about housing prices in schools.
Right, you don't throw it away as we have problems.
Yeah.
And then when you list them off, you don't address the incredibly shocking overdose numbers of your city.
Yeah, that seems like seems wrong. All right, let's talk about something happy that we can all be excited about, which is sports. We got give us a little update on this. So that it looks like this upcoming weekend we're going to have playoff baseball.
Mariners have home games in the American League Divisional Series on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
We won't know the start times because there are 4 games. 4 series will start on Saturday.
Wow.
The divisional series will all start on Saturday. And the Mariners' opponent is be determined by the wild card series between the Guardians and Tigers.
And that's happening now.
That happened today. Game 1, that series is underway already. The Tigers took that first game 2 runs to 1.
Who do we want to win that game?
We got to like Detroit we got to want Detroit because they limped into the postseason where the Guardians were red hot.
Sure.
Baseball will determine of the 4 start times on Saturday and Sunday. They will determine who gets what slot, depending upon which team wins and advances and geographically how it works for their city. Seattle, you're also going against marquee teams like the Yankees will be playing. If the Yankees win that first series, the wild card series, it'll be Blue Jays against the Yankees or Red Sox is a marquee for them.
Sure.
The series was going to be like the Dodgers and will take on the Cubs and Phillies winner, or vice versa. Phillies take on the Dodger Cubs winner. That's also a marquee, legendary, kind of iconic time starts for them. So the Mariners kind of find themselves in the back seat as far as the priorities and the time slots.
Their odds of winning the World Series are the highest.
Are the highest, yeah. But you're talking about the Yankees have a national following. Dodgers have a national. Cubs, national following.
But that's what makes the Mariners so great to watch, because they're the underdog, which is a great place to be, even though you're favored right now.
You're talking about two games on Sunday if the Mariners will play a Sunday game, and the Seahawks have a home Sunday game against the Buccaneers at 1 o'clock.
And the Seahawks said that they were willing to move that time.
They'll move the time if they have to accommodate, so that the traffic isn't a nightmare for Mariner and Seahawk fans. But they can't move it much later because the Sunday night game, NFL Sunday night game, it has a rule with the league, NBC, the Sunday night game, you can't have another team playing while that Sunday night game is on.
Really?
For TV rights,
That's
yes.
crazy.
So if they move it, it'll only be an hour. Be from 1 to 2 on Sunday if they move it.
It's going to be a fun weekend.
It'll be a great
Feels
weekend.
like everything's clicking
you
for
should
Seattle
park
sports.
now, though. Leave your car
get your
there
spot
now. Seriously.
All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
Seattle's morning news.
Hi, I'm Charlie Harger.
And I'm Matt DeFactor.
Tomorrow we welcome October and possibly a blast of fall wind.
October, a month the Mariners will be playing ball this year.
We'll be keeping an eye on Portland, where the president has ordered deployment of the National Guard.
And all the day's top local and national news, it's only with traffic every 10 minutes on the 3s.
So join us tomorrow, 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
So what will you have today? Vanilla, chocolate, strawberry?
When it comes to picking ice cream, there are lots of choices, and they all look and sound so good. Choosing a Medicare plan is a lot like that. So many options, all sound good. But if you pick a plan that's not right for you, there can be serious consequences. Hi, this is Herb Weisbaum, the Consumer Man. Open enrollment season is right around the corner, and you're going to be inundated with advertisements encouraging you to choose this Medicare Advantage plan or that one. Maybe the best choice for you is traditional Medicare. To make an informed decision, you need to do your homework. The Insurance Commissioner's Sheba program has a free Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit to get you started.
This is Insurance Commissioner Patty Kuderer. Our Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit has a checklist of 7 easy steps to help you decide which Medicare plan is right for you.
Order your free toolkit today at insurance.wa.gov. That's insurance.wa.gov. Or pick up a copy at your local library or senior center. Then go get an ice cream.
If you've been considering upgrading your siding, now is the perfect time. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. In the Pacific Northwest, moisture is the enemy. Old failing siding leads to hidden water damage, rot, and mold. State Roofing and Exteriors is a James Hardy preferred contractor with over 55 years of siding expertise. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your siding inspection today. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nia Hergaris with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. As parents, we want our children to grow up healthy and strong. That means helping teens take responsibility for their health as they become young adults. One way to do that is to make sure they have one-on-one time with their pediatrician. That helps them become comfortable talking about any health issue with their doctors and with you. So make sure to give your teen a voice. It's good for their health. For more on teen health, visit healthychildren.org.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it hard to fight flu, pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Hundreds of generals and admirals gathered in Virginia today, called there by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. President Trump addressed them, saying we are reawakening the warrior spirit. Here's CBS's Nancy Cordes.
He suggested, as Hegseth had before him, that some people in that room maybe don't have their jobs for the right reasons, that they don't have as high qualifications as they could have, but that they were put in those positions because of DEI, that perhaps they are minorities, perhaps they are women. And he added that if anyone in the room doesn't like what he's saying, they can leave, although he said they would immediately lose their rank.
The president also suggested major cities in this country could serve as training grounds for the military. CBS's Nicole Valdez is in Memphis, where they're awaiting a deployment of some sort.
A lot of questions still here in Memphis about just how soon we will start to see those National Guard troops in the streets. The president and the governor of Tennessee, Bill Lee, both said they expected that operation to kickstart this week. But so far, we haven't seen any sign of any massive troop movement throughout the city.
With a government shutdown looming, Democratic lawmakers are standing firm on their demands for an extension of expiring health insurance subsidies. Senator Chuck Schumer.
They're afraid to talk about the real issue, which is health care for American citizens, health care for people who need the health care and can't afford these premiums.
Republican lawmakers want the issue negotiated separately later. The deadline is midnight tonight. Hamas says it's studying President Trump's latest peace plan for Gaza. CBS's Deborah Patta is in Tel Aviv with reaction.
The families of hostages who have waited nearly 2 years for their loved ones are almost too scared to hope that this time will not end in disappointment. And in Gaza, Palestinians who continue to endure bombardment, hunger, and displacement remain skeptical, saying this could have been ended a long time ago.
Stacey Lynn reports a federal judge has ruled the Trump administration's efforts to deport non-citizens for protesting the war in Gaza was unconstitutional.
The judge in Boston agreed with several university associations, which said the policy they described as ideological deportation violates the First Amendment. They testified that the Trump administration had launched a coordinated effort to target students and scholars who had criticized Israel or showed sympathy for Palestinians.
On Wall Street, stocks finished lightly higher today ahead of the possible government shutdown. The Dow is up 81. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The federal tax credit that runs out at midnight. But first, KIRO News Radio traffic. Here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Heather. We're looking pretty good across the region this afternoon. Nothing major slowing you down. South 5 into Seattle has improved. We're crowded still, though, from Northgate into downtown. Linwood to Seattle will take you 25 minutes. North 5 continues looking great. You're going to run into just a little backup there at the West Seattle Bridge. Southbound 405, you're crowded from Factoria into Renton, but you're close to freeway speeds here, so Bellevue to Renton is just 20 minutes. Eastbound 518 through Tukwila is packed from the airport over to I-5, where we're still seeing this collision on the right shoulder. And don't forget, we've got a long-term lane closures on northbound 167 through Pacific, and right now there's about a mile and a half bumper-to-bumper backup. Plan on 10 to 15 minutes to clear this. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Heather Bosch. Police, stop! Seattle police arrest 4 teens and are searching for 2 more after cops found a cache of submachine guns and assault-style weapons. More from KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman.
A wild encounter between SPD and several teens at the Lake Washington Apartments in South Seattle, not far from Rainier Beach High School.
It's not good.
The group was allegedly involved in a shooting September 20th, but when officers spotted the teens,
Police, stop!
They took off and ditched their car while in drive. Officers were able to track the 4 teens down one by one.
A 17-year-old girl was released. 3 other teens remain in youth detention. The man accused of stabbing 2 women to death earlier this month in Burien pleads not guilty. KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha was there.
Marvin Ortiz Montesinos was in a courtroom here at the Regional Justice Center in Kent. Now, we've already gotten a look at court documents that say he was mad over a breakup with his girlfriend. That's when he went to the Montrose Apartments on September 8th and stabbed her and her roommate dozens of times.
He's in jail on $10 million bail and expected in court again October 23rd. The 70-year-old driver accused of damaging a girder under State Route 167 has been cited for negligent driving and issued a $564 ticket. Police say he failed to lower the bed of his dump truck as he drove under the freeway. Only one lane of State Route 167 is open near Pacific because of the damage, and it's not clear when it will be fixed. A federal tax credit for electric vehicles expires tonight. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin explains.
You only have a few hours left at this point, but as long as you've placed that order, you've signed that binding contract, and you've even made a payment on a car like a Tesla or other qualifying cars in this situation, you can still take advantage of the incentive.
Partial water services back at Paradise and Mount Rainier National Park after more than 2 weeks without running water. The National Park Service says limited flush restrooms are now available, but the Seattle Times reports Narada Falls still relies on porta potties. The outage began around September 13th following a thunderstorm that clogged water filters with debris. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing showers today with highs in the mid-60s. It's 67 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News. It's the all-new Jake and Spike Show on KIRO Newsradio.
Welcome back to the show. 1 hour is down, 2 hours left to go. We don't even have enough time to get everything we want to. I'm going to call John right now. He's in the newsroom right now, getting ready for his show at 3 o'clock. I think what we should do, Spike, is we should just go out there and say, hey, we just need an extra hour. We got extra stuff to do.
Yeah.
We got to get it covered. We don't want to waste all of our show prep by not getting to it. And just if we just preempt an hour of his show, see what his audience.
You want to ask his permission first?
Well, yeah, I think
I'm of the mind that we just take the hour, bar the door,
and apologize.
And seek
forgiveness.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that's going to go great.
That's always been my mantras.
Well, it's worked for you.
Yeah.
Speaking of apologies, this would go a long way with these teenagers. I'm always trying to teach my kids. You got to apologize when you do something wrong. You got to say the words "I'm sorry," and you got to actually mean it. You got to at least make it sound like you actually mean it. There were some teenagers who were arrested recently, and this story kind of jumped off the page at us because of the cache. They describe it as a cache of weapons, a stockpile of guns that officers found on these teens' persons. Is that right?
Yeah, on their peoples, on their persons,
on these teens' peoples,
in their car.
Okay, so I'm going to read you some of the details from Fox 13. Then we can talk. We'll go through the cache of the vehicle, of the weapons that they have. I don't even know how you get all this stuff. I don't know how you get these at 16. This makes no sense to me.
Paper route?
I guess, but how do you buy them? Where do you get them? That's my question. Legally, you cannot acquire these things at 16. So, I don't know how they got them.
I think some of these aren't legal at any age.
At any age? All right, listen to this. On September 22nd, which was a little over a week ago, if my math works out.
Yep.
At 3:45 p.m., this is from Fox 13, Seattle police said in a statement that officers responded to reports of an armed suspect near a suspicious vehicle, a Chevrolet Malibu. The vehicle's not suspicious. It's just a very plain-looking vehicle. It's actually kind of an anti-suspicious vehicle.
Malibu's pretty common.
Very
vanilla.
plain. Yeah. But for whatever reason, somebody looked at it and went, known to be involved in a September 20th shooting. So I guess they recognized
okay.
it. Yeah.
Got it.
The vehicle was reportedly spotted between apartment buildings along Seward Park Avenue South, where witnesses reported seeing a group of teens exchanging guns, not gunfire, like literally handing each other guns.
Yeah, that is suspicious.
Seattle officers set up an arrest team and approached the suspects. Side note here, this is an incredibly stressful job. If you're a cop,
yeah.
Can you imagine? You already know that these teens are apparently armed to the teeth by what's been reported. You see them exchanging weapons. Teenagers are also not like deep thinkers generally. No. They're kind of reactionary. They're very emotional. Mm-hmm. And so you don't know what they're going to do. Also, they're afraid of getting caught and long-term repercussions, I would hope, is something that they're thinking about. And so you just never know. And so the idea that they had to approach them, I mean, God bless these police officers. They intervened, and they were able to make the arrests without anybody being shot, which is amazing and good news. They also recovered some weapons, which we'll get into in just a second. But back to the story. All right. Seattle officers set up an arrest team, approached the suspects, presumably in this alley, exchanging guns. Upon seeing the police, the suspects, again, basically children, they're teenagers, but I guess they didn't know how old they were from a distance. You can't tell.
Right.
The suspects exited the vehicle and fled, causing the car to roll forward and crash into a police cruiser, according to SPD Post. 2 16-year-old boys and 2 girls aged 16 and 17 were taken into police custody. And investigators are still looking for 2 other suspects that remain outstanding. So here's the part that kind of jumps out at me.
You can fit 6 people in a Malibu?
That's actually a pretty roomy sedan.
It is? Okay.
Yeah, the Malibu is a very roomy sedan. You could get easily. It doesn't say the year model, but if it's anything newer than a 2000, actually that's a good size sedan.
And a 4-door, because if they all ran and
4-door,
yeah,
5 seatbelts all day,
sure,
all day. And again, these people are small because they're basically children, so they could fit into a much smaller vehicle if they needed to.
We're making light of some of the details of the story because the shocking cache of weapons inside is.
Should we get to that? Here's what they found on these ne'er-do-well teens. Police seized the vehicle and obtained a search warrant. I guess they found it in the vehicle. Technically, if it was if the teens had the vehicle, I guess it would be their guns. But that's. Do we have to say allegedly? I think we say allegedly.
Yeah, I think so. And it's funny.
I don't know who own these.
The search warrant doesn't seem at first like you would need one, but if you've got a crime scene, which is this car, and you want to make sure that evidence found in this is admissible in court, you go through the process of getting a warrant.
If you have to open a trunk, then you're going to need a warrant. Police seized the vehicle and obtained a search warrant, recovering several firearms and other items, including the following. Key fobs, that's normal. You're going to need a key fob to start a car. That makes sense. An ID card, again, I would presume it would be either their license to drive the vehicle or it possibly could be like a high school ID card.
Yeah, at 16 and 17,
17. A high school geometry book. These kids don't strike me as super great students, but I could be wrong about that. A cell phone. That's normal. They're going to have cell phones.
These are all the things you find in a car full of teenagers.
And here's where it starts to get a little off the record here. What's the phrase? An ammunition.
Where they go off script for the teenagers.
Script.
Yeah.
An ammunition crate filled with rifle bullets. That's not good. A backpack with a ski mask. I guess they might have been skiing on the weekend, although it's not really ski
season yet. No.
Yeah. Handguns with auto switches and extended magazines. That's a no-no. That's going to hurt when it comes sentencing time. And then the one that really grabbed everybody's attention, a submachine gun with a 30-round magazine. Where do you even get that? Where do you get a submachine gun at 16 with a 30-round magazine?
I can't fathom. That's just nuts.
And the geometry book, is that like target practice? Are you seeing?
Well, when I saw the story and I saw the geometry book, I'm thinking, okay, well, at least somebody's got homework this weekend or something. Well, then I thought, wait a minute. What if these kids are using the geometry book to plan their capers? How do you strike a building with a car? At what angle to pop an ATM out of a building?
There you go.
Maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know.
Those are simple math equations.
Sure.
That's basic geometry right there. Absolutely.
Yeah. They said you never use it in your life.
You could probably
Little do they know.
Yeah. Or an ID card. You can use that to swipe open a door. A key fob,
or pick
probably just to drive the car.
Probably just drive. These machine guns. It's a
submachine gun.
A submachine with a 30-round magazine. What the hell? Wow.
Bad stuff. 3 of the suspects were booked into juvenile detention, and the 17-year-old girl was released to her parents at the South Precinct. That's an uncomfortable conversation they're going to have with her. You're hanging out with the wrong people. I don't know who was exchanging the guns. I do know that teenagers find themselves in wacky situations. This seems like a pretty bad one. I'm not saying that she's guilty. They're going to have to do an investigation of that.
Yeah, you get in a car with a boy.
What I'm hoping is, he's like riding in cars with boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of these guys, you don't know and they might not have told her anything that was in the trunk.
Right.
And
right.
So maybe she's just riding around in the car. I'm hoping that's why they released her to her parents, because they recognized if there was 2 boys and 2 girls initially, and 3 of them were taken into police custody, and 1 of them was released, I'm kind of getting the sense that maybe she wasn't. Maybe they suspected that she wasn't a threat, and maybe they suspected that the charges against her were not. There was not going to be charges.
It was her geometry book.
Maybe.
Yeah.
She's just sitting there trying to do homework. These other kids are like, look at my submachine gun. And instantly you're like, I picked the wrong friends.
Oh, and it says 2 suspects remain outstanding that I guess ran from the car. Am I reading
so it sounds
this right?
like there was 6 originally,
Yeah.
6 total. So pretty scary situation. And I hate to do this. Every time one of these stories pops up, I feel like it's incumbent upon me as a parent who has kids, who sees some. Now, the 17-year-old girl, it sounds like her parents probably are going to teach her this lesson themselves.
Yeah.
And they're going to parent her, I hope. She's going to stop hanging out with these other ne'er-do-well teens.
Yeah.
But for the other ones, I don't know. They have parents who are investing in their lives and who are teaching them right from wrong. And unfortunately, you might be taught by somebody in prison, and that might sound a little bit like this.
Prison stinks, but I am here to scare you straight. I am here to scare you straight! In prison, you are somebody's bitch. Oh, and you. Horrible. You, my friend, would be the belle of the ball. The worst thing about prison was the Dementors. They were flying all over the place, and they were scary, and then they come down and they suck the soul out of your body. And it hurt. I just want to thank you for listening to me and letting me be a part of your life today. Because you got a good life. You got a good life.
You got a good life. You got a good life.
I love that. I love that bit. But, I mean, you got to laugh so you don't cry.
Mm-hmm.
These are 16-year-olds with automatic weapons.
Charges.
30, right.
It's very sad.
What do you do for a kid like this? Well, how does a kid get to a moment like this in their life where this is the choices that they're making, that the people they're running with?
And this is when they got caught.
Right.
Think of the other times they didn't get caught.
Right.
I mean, here's what I would do.
Well, the Malibu was suspicious because it was involved in a shooting earlier.
Already involved in a September 20th shooting, they say. Known to be involved in a September 20th shooting. You got to have consequences. Somebody's got to get locked up. You got to lock somebody up. You got to lock them away for a while. They're fortunate right now that they're still juveniles because they're going to have a chance to get out, not as adults. Eventually, this can disappear from their record if they have enough good behavior.
Do you charge a 17 or so there's the 16-year-old, the 17-year-old? All, in fact, if I'm reading this correctly, they were all 16. The 3 that are still being held are 16.
Yes.
Is this a child?
2 16-year-old boys.
Is this a minor at this point?
A 16-year-old?
Yeah, I mean,
it depends on what they charge them. In our state, it's going to.
It's not like somebody had a gun under the seat and nobody else knew about it in the car. These kids have, a half dozen weapons.
Listen, if they're
high-capacity magazines,
their car is already known to be involved, according to the story, allegedly in a September 20th shooting. So clearly, they've gone down a bad path.
Yeah, and they've arrived.
What would you?
At who they are?
What would you do for a 16-year-old who's already, I think hopefully nobody was killed in that shooting.
No,
I don't know the details of that December 20th shooting. I'm hoping that was just like nobody was killed. That's what I hope.
Yeah.
But I still have hope that a 16-year-old, they've gotten a lot of bad parenting at 16 that they're doing that, or they've got no parenting, which is the same thing. Bad parenting and no parenting, same thing. Bad. So what do you do with these kids? Do you just you want to think that they're redeemable with good training and people who care about them?
16 or 25 or 40, you hope everybody's redeemable.
I disagree.
Right?
I hope people are redeemable, but
at this stage,
you're not
25.
So right. You talk about 25 and 40.
Yeah, you're further off the rails.
That person's making an adult decision. A 16-year-old is still a younger person.
That's valid. The brain doesn't stop developing until 25.
For some people, I guess it never does.
Never. Thank you for not mentioning me by name.
But it does. You and me both, buddy. But it does. For these 16-year-olds, I mean, it's a very serious adult crime.
That's fair. I mean,
so how do you? Can you lock them up for years? Do you place them with a is there a situation where you place them like a Hallmark movie, like you take a troubled teen and you send them out to cowboy camp or something when they learn how to be a cowboy?
Or make trails.
Right,
yeah.
My wife actually volunteered. There used to be a program where you could volunteer to make trails with the Washington something association.
Forest Service? Yeah.
I think so, something like that. And you would go out there and you'd spend...
For troubled teens?
No, it wasn't troubled teens.
Okay.
It was like kind of the opposite. It was like for good teens.
Okay.
But you would go out there and you could camp and then you would basically cut trails and lay down gravel or whatever, and they make you dinner, and it was supposed to be like a fun. I think she did it through her Catholic youth organization.
Perfect.
But do they have something like that here where they could get some real world experience, take them out of their situation, where they feel like they want to be shooting?
It seems like incarceration just it exacerbates the bad decision making, the bad habits. I mean, jails are dangerous places.
I'm not against a little incarceration. I actually think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't think we're doing it enough. I think we're letting young people off a lot where they should be locked up.
Yeah, I hear you. We hear it every day.
You want to scare them straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's tough for everybody involved, for the families involved, even for the criminals involved. These are 16-year-old kids who've already making horrible decisions. And you're right. I'm ready to just chuck them in with adults and lock the door to keep the neighborhood safe, but that's maybe not what's best for anybody involved.
Well, for a while, you want to have them locked up for a while, I think. You lock them up like I tell my kids this all the time, like, we're correcting you because we love you so that someday you don't do something stupid where somebody corrects you that doesn't love you. Because nobody else is going to love you like your own parents.
Oh.
And if you keep doing bad behaviors, eventually somebody's going to correct you, and they're not going to have your best interest at heart.
Yeah, here.
They just want to get you off the street like these kids. All right. Can we do the story real fast? Because this was confusing to me. I saw a story in Seattle Times. Bartell Drugs has finally gone away after 135 years. And I'm like, did I click on a link from a couple years ago? Didn't they already go out of business?
I thought they were all converted to
CVS's or Rite Aids.
Rite Aids first. They were closed or become Rite Aids, and now Rite Aid's gone as well. They're all CVS's.
Yeah. But that's not the case, I guess. There was a couple that were still open. I guess, let's see here. This article says that Rite Aid, which originally had purchased them, filed for a second bankruptcy.
Yeah, Rite Aid really.
And then CVS said it would take on 20 of the remaining 34 Bartell Drugs that Rite Aid was trying to revamp, but didn't successfully do. And then the remaining 14 stores at CVS didn't want. Those kind of fell by the wayside. But 3 of those apparently were still in operation up until this last weekend when they were still operating. And basically it was like kind of one of those like everything must go situations.
Oh yeah.
So they finally closed their doors after 135 years. Do you remember shopping in Bartell's?
Of course.
What a unique experience that was.
You bet. Locally owned. We took great pride in that.
I used to go to the one, I'm trying to think where it is. It was right up there off of, it's not 45th, it's not 50th. It was in Green Lake. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
On Greenwood?
Maybe Greenwood.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Not Green Lake. Maybe Greenwood.
Greenwood, yeah.
And you go in there, and they always had, especially around Christmas time. I always thought Bartell's around Christmas time was such a cool place.
Sure, the seasonal aisle was wonderful.
Yes,
wonderful.
It is sad that this thing kind of fell by the wayside, but
ours just left about less than a month ago.
Oh, really?
From the
was
last
it still branded as a Bartell's?
As a Bartell's, yeah. And they put up those temporary CVS like the banners.
Yeah,
you could get a banner made at a store. It's
where you can tell a business isn't quite committed to making it work.
The same people who make the Spirit Halloween signs and make the CVS signs until they get the real
Those
branding.
Those are never permanent signs.
No, and I'm hoping, knock wood, since my family has now gone through the care of being a Bartell's customer to a Rite Aid customer to now a CVS customer.
Yeah.
And I got to say, I had a couple experiences this week with the new CVS. I know that we're talking about the last 3 Bartell's.
Sure.
Or finally, shuttered their doors this weekend.
135 years.
The CVS that I've had personal experiences with inside with the staff who are grossly understaffed already. These CVSs, which are buying up everything. Mm-hmm. Hire a few people if you want to do business in every pharmacy in America. Hire enough people to staff your stores. Grossly understaffed, but the people who were there were dedicated, man. They were working overtime. They were
That's great.
Above and beyond. Yeah, I mean, because
how are the aisles? That's something that always bothers me when I go into some of these pharmacies.
Oh,
drugstores.
it looks like a fire sale's
If
going
I
on.
see an empty aisle, I just think this is not. They're not investing in inventory.
Well, that's what Rite Aid was when they transitioned from Bartell's to Rite Aids. I'd go in there and the stores would be 20% full.
Yeah.
You'd have entire rows of aisles of things that were just empty with 2 feet of whatever it was, whether it was the cleaning section or the seasonal section, had 2 feet of merchandise in an empty. It looked like it was a ghost town.
Mm-hmm.
The CVS was pretty well stocked. They're adding more and more as we go on. It's been open for less than a month now as a CVS. Their phone system, it's just abysmal.
Sure.
Every pharmaceutical prescription refill is automated.
Like when you call in to get a prescription filled.
And it's always leave a voicemail. We'll call you back within the hour. 4 times now. I've on 2 separate interactions with them. Voicemail never returned. I have to walk into the store and say, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. And the staff is always, they hop right to it. And while I'm waiting, they get right to it. There's people in line, but they do a great job. The employees that CVS has hired, a lot of them from these other Bartells,
I'm sure.
from Rite Aids, are trying their hardest.
Well, it's the pharmacy business that they say was the really tough part for them.
It's evolving.
It was evolving, and then they say the thing that finally pushed them over the edge, that ended the company, was COVID-19 related restrictions, and foot traffic disappeared in these stores because they're so local. They just require people to come in and buy things.
A lot of it's the reimbursement rate that CVS has negotiated with these drug companies. That's the reason that other pharmacies couldn't be competitive.
Oh, sure.
So it's
sad end to a very cool local establishment here. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We're going to talk a little bit about technology in schools. We have super low math scores, so that's interesting. But then they're also pushing kids to be on screens all the time. So you and I can talk a little bit about whether or not we think that's a good idea. Stick around. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
A G and Ursula exclusive on KIRO News Radio.
There it is, number 60, Cal Raleigh.
A guy did catch it. He gave it to this young boy in the stands. And we are joined by that boy's father, Galen Ruelos.
He caught it. He didn't have to do it. It was a complete random act of kindness to my son. You know, he's a 12-year-old, 6th grader, and just overcome with emotion. He starts bawling.
Hear the full conversation on the KIRO News Radio app and KIRO News Radio on YouTube.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So you and I have talked before about the folks who think they can do this themselves. And again, I imagine there are a lot of people who are saying, well, new administration, fewer staff members, now I truly can get it done.
Really, in this situation, I do feel really bad for the taxpayer, because here you're getting a notice. You call the IRS, you're going to be on hold for 45 minutes to an hour. And so getting through is going to be more difficult. And when you do get through, you're going to be talking to people that are not as well trained as they have been in the past.
Which makes it even easier for them to take advantage, even if it's not intended, against the person who owes taxes.
I've heard it said that they just will make up something because they want to respond to the taxpayer. And people are going to get some really bad information and they're not going to know.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn, None Better Tax Resolution, 425-947-1967, or Google NUNN, None Better Tax Resolution.
When your reputation's on the line, you don't leave anything to chance, especially your primer. Painters trust Kills primers for a smooth start, strong adhesion, and serious stain-blocking power. And now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick up in-store. Kills primers. Pro results, faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Tired of uneven heating, noisy systems, and high energy bills? The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings with every system, and every system qualifies for max tax credits. Call the Comfort People at HomeComfortAlliance.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo.
And welcome to the War Department.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth addressing an audience of top military brass today, declaring an end to woke culture in the armed forces. CBS's Charlie D'Agata has more.
He mentioned 10 directives. It has to do with combat readiness. He was big on fitness. He said no more fatties, his words. Even in the Pentagon, up to the general level, there will be a fitness test, and that is a gender-neutral fitness test.
Trump also addressed the crowd, suggesting American cities be used as training grounds for the military. No signs of compromise among Democrats and Republicans on the eve of a potential government shutdown. CBS's Torian Small reports Democrats are standing firm on their demand that federal tax credits for health care be extended.
They're saying ultimately health care is what they're fighting for, which is why they're pushing back on Republicans. Republicans, however, are saying they did this before. They approved a clean continuing resolution. They don't understand why they're not doing it now.
President Trump now says a shutdown is, quote, probably likely at midnight. Now to the closing bell report. Seattle's minimum wage is going up by more than 50 cents. KIRO News Radio's Heather Bosch explains.
Starting January 1st, it'll rise to $21.30 per hour. The Office of Labor Standards says the increase reflects inflation based on the Consumer Price Index for the Seattle-Tacoma-Bellevue area.
And statewide, Washington's minimum wage is rising to $17.13 an hour in the new year. That's nearly $10 higher than the federal rates. Portland-based ice cream chain Salt and Straw is teaming up with Taco Bell to launch a new product. It's called the Taco-Lit.
We engineered a brand new ice cream machine, reinvented the waffle cone. Custom recipes, custom sauces, everything from scratch.
The limited edition treat drops at Salt and Straw locations this Friday. There are 6 Salt and Straw shops in Washington. On Wall Street today, Dow up 82 points, NASDAQ gained 69, S&P ahead by 27 points. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 1:33 with Nate Connors.
Hey, thanks, Aaron. If you're just hitting the road, there isn't much in your way. This is what we're looking at. South 5 heading into Seattle, crowded from Lake City Way in the downtown. Linwood to Seattle, though, has improved from our last report, taking 20 minutes. There aren't any issues heading north through Seattle right now. Both lake bridges are even clear. In fact, eastbound 90 across Mercer Island is clear through that work zone where we typically see some sort of backup. South 405 is crowded through Factoria. Bellevue to Renton is going to take you 20 minutes. And northbound on the Valley Freeway, you're packed northbound through Pacific, where we have long-term lane closures. You can save yourself about 10 to 15 minutes by hopping onto the West Valley Highway, but you got to do it by 24th Street or it's too late. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And your forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Will stay cloudy today. Highs in the upper 60s. Rain moves in later tonight, right around dinner time or so. Right now, 68 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. Laura, bonus points if you can name this band. You know who this is?
I know the song.
What's the song? What's the song?
Do, do, do. Do, 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 do.
Is this Third Eye Blind?
This is Third Eye Blind, I believe. This is...
It is? Okay.
I used to love Third Eye Blind. This was what I listened to in high school.
They made a whole album?
They made
I'm
a whole
kidding.
album. They made a whole album.
I know it from the American Pie movies. Is that where this one got its
That's probably
got its
where
moment?
I heard it.
Yeah.
That's probably where I heard it. Yeah. It's good music. Still good. Oh, Spike's rolling his eyes. He doesn't like it.
No good music has happened since 1979. Officially. Nothing good has happened.
Nothing good has happened
Nothing
since
good music
2002.
Yeah, well.
That's what I believe. Laura, what year did
Make
you graduate?
music great
Nothing
again.
good has happened since 2015 or whenever Laura graduated high school.
Yeah.
There's Frank Sinatra. That was music. Those guys could sing. Yeah, you kids today with your doo-wops and your ditties.
They're in semi-charmed light. That's what it's called.
All right, turn this down.
In parentheses,
We're talking about school.
Yeah.
This is perfect that you played this.
Yeah,
it's perfect lead.
These kids are dumber than ever.
That's pretty good, Laura.
A little sharp.
No, I liked it. That was pretty good.
Oh, I don't know. I've raised a couple. I can tell you firsthand. Oof.
Raised a couple what?
Kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Were you talking about school?
Math scores.
Math scores.
Yeah.
All right. I got a bone to pick with Washington State. You and I we're going to get into this right now.
Sure. Let's hear it.
Seattle Times has this article, and they're talking about these numbers are insane. These are insane. Listen to this. I'm just going to read a piece of the Seattle Times article. Alarm bells have been ringing since students returned to in-person instruction after the pandemic, when their test scores demonstrated the effects of being out of a classroom for 18 months. Well, gee, who could have guessed that? Even now, back in school for 3 years, nearly a third of all students in Washington cannot demonstrate a basic grasp of grade-level skills in math. Listen to that number again, nearly a third. Among low-income students, that number rises to 45%. And according to the Seattle Times article, half of all students in Washington qualify as low income. So half of students in Washington State can barely do math at their grade level. That is a pathetic number.
It is.
Pathetic.
It's embarrassing.
Here's the number that jumped out at me that I thought was crazy. And I'm hoping that it jumps out at you too. So Chris Reichdahl, who is the superintendent for public instruction, he is finally recognizing that this might be an issue. Although for a long time he said, hey, there was no learning loss during the pandemic, just not even a thing. According to the Seattle Times here, and I remember them talking about that, which is ridiculous. He says in order to boost math teaching skills for elementary educators, he wants to ask the legislature for $8 million to boost math teaching skills for elementary educators, plus an additional $2 million for math software to help students. Now, I want to ask you a question about these numbers. Do you think that $8 million to help teachers become better math educators? I don't know how that money's being spent, but I guess they're just going to get certified to teach children math, which I assume they needed to do the job in the first place.
That was already the threshold.
A prerequisite?
Yeah, I would think.
And then $2 million for software to help students with math. These are drop in the bucket nonsense things that mean nothing. These mean nothing.
How do you mean? What do you mean?
I mean exactly that.
That amount of money isn't going to move the needle?
It means nothing. Do you know what the budget is for education in Washington State per year?
$7 trillion. No, I don't know.
This is my funnest. This is my funnest new hobby.
Blast with this.
It's my funnest new hobby.
Okay, so we know overall the education budget in King County or Seattle.
So in Seattle,
it's like $1.4 billion.
Education
right?
spending is it's near 1.4. I think it's 1.37 or something.
Okay, I remember that from a couple weeks ago. Not like I did any homework, which I never did.
1.37.
Yeah.
That's for Seattle schools.
How much of it dedicated to math?
So how much is dedicated for the entire state? Because that's what Chris Reichdahl's in charge of. He's the superintendent of public instruction for the entire state, who said that there was no learning loss during the pandemic. This is, again, the guy that's running education who couldn't figure it out in his head.
Well, if he's doing the math on learning loss, no wonder we don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe he should just take that math software and just teach himself some math.
There you go.
All right, so I'm going to make you guess because it's too fun. What is the budget for Washington State? I'll start with this. The entire state budget for everything that happens in our state, not just education, but healthcare, roads, all that stuff, is $77.8 billion. That's what's been proposed in appropriations, which is a 6.5% increase from the last biennium, which was 23 through 25, through current, and then now it would be 25 through 27. So nearly $80 billion is going to be spent in our state. How much of that is going to be spent on education? Because that's what Chris Reichdahl is helping spend.
Oh, statewide. You mean
statewide. So
okay.
For the entire state. Because again, because he's the superintendent for the entire state, and because he's saying, hey, you know what? Let's send $8 million to help people become better math educators in elementary school, and then $2 million for math software for students. Like, that's going to fix anything, which it won't, but whatever.
So I'm going to guess.
So the K through 12 education budget is spending for the entire state. For the next biennium, so that's 2 years.
$30 billion.
You're very close. $33.6 billion.
I'm getting better at this game.
You're getting better at this game.
Once I realized the scope of the numbers we're talking about, as I would have guessed that was the budget for. I mean, that's a.
You probably would have guessed that was the entire state.
Yeah, I would think so.
So $33.6 billion for the next biennium. That is the largest line item in the state's budget by far, more than healthcare, more than anything else.
I'm glad it is.
But you shouldn't be.
Why?
Because they're not teaching math.
You skipped ahead.
Right?
You saw the answer before you asked the question. No, you're right. You're right.
We should be appalled at that number. The largest spending in the state.
No, we should be appalled at the results.
But the number doesn't justify the results, right?
So we should be appalled
So why
at
are
the
we
results.
spending that much?
We don't need less money. We need better results.
We could spend. So no. The problem with that is that the argument is that more money is going to lead to better results, which is not the case.
How do you get better results then?
By requiring them to teach students math.
I'm a Democrat. You throw money at problems. That's what you do. I'm kidding. I'm being facetious.
How is it possible? Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe it is a money problem. $33 billion has not done it so far.
Are we paying superintendents enough?
That's the problem.
With a joke in my step?
You're totally right.
Yeah.
We're not paying the administrative staff enough.
Hey,
if we just paid them more.
What are you doing with that $8 million?
We're not getting the best and the brightest because we're not paying them more than $1 million a year.
Are there
So what?
Are there new ways
Great question.
Are there new ways to teach math?
No.
Because the numbers are the same. We haven't changed the numbers, right?
How is it possible? Here's my question. How is it that we were able to teach math in years past?
That's where I was going.
With much smaller budgets.
Yeah.
Somehow we figured it out when we just had a tablet and a pencil.
Tablet? Paper
and a pencil.
I never touched technology once.
I was talking about like like tablet with chalk.
Okay. I thought you meant like digitally.
No, paper and a pencil.
Yes.
Paper and a pencil.
Numbers haven't changed.
And we learned math good.
A chalkboard.
And now we can't do anything. We can't read. We can't do math. And we keep spending all this money. Why?
Well, we're not spending it on
math and science
and drinking fountains.
Oh, it's
I mean,
that's a great point.
What are you doing?
We got more lead in the water.
Your buildings are falling down.
These poor kids are getting lead poisoning. They can't even do math anymore.
The textbooks are out of date. What's going on?
We need a center for kids who can't read good and other things. And it needs to be 3 times this size.
Yeah, here.
What is this, a center for ants? Doesn't it just make you feel like you're taking crazy pills, though, honestly?
It does. It breaks your heart. When it infuriates you and it just makes you want to cry at the same time.
$33.6 billion. It's a 7% increase from the prior biennium. So you're getting nearly a 10% increase, which includes a $1.3 billion raise for teachers. Now, if the math scores are not penciling out, which I don't even know who they're getting to crunch these numbers because apparently they don't know how to teach it without that $8 million to boost math teaching skills.
Yeah.
Then why are we spending so much on education if you're not getting any results on education?
Well, I think there's a lot of factors in these bad numbers, bad results. I think home life is a big factor in why kids don't do as well in school as they used to. Parents used to be more hands-on, hold kids more accountable than they do today.
Absolutely.
To lay it all on the teachers or the educational structure we've put in place, I don't think is really fair. You got to look at the entirety of it. It takes a village to teach a kid 2 + 2.
What we should do then is we should decrease the budget dramatically and require that parents be involved in their kids' lives.
I'm with that.
So let's cut out, let's say $33.6 billion over the next 2 years. Can we whittle that down to $25 billion? I think that's totally doable.
How about incentives to do well? Like, you got to bribe people these days going to do anything.
Sure. Yeah, why not?
How about a little cash incentive for your kids?
Couple of beans in your jeans, put some coins in your pocket, right?
Yeah.
Teach a kid a math.
Yeah. It's not enough
get a bonus.
It's not enough that the good education leads to more money later on down the road, which what really we ought to be just teaching these kids.
If we're teaching based on success of the students, I think that's great.
Yeah.
But do you think the Washington Education Association is going to go for that?
Not based on these results.
Not a chance.
No, not a shot. Not a shot. No, not a shot.
All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
The Closing Bell is brought to you by Trajan Wealth Management.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Hey, you guys know what's stressful? A leaky roof. Because you typically don't find out it's leaking until the water makes its way through the insulation. The drywall in your ceiling starts swelling up, sagging, and dripping. Then you're freaked out. You're wondering if you got mold in your house. I get it. That's why I get Valentine Roofing. Valentine has a leak stop guarantee. They'll stop the leak in your old roof for free until your brand new Valentine roof can be safely installed. And because Valentine doesn't just replace roofs, they protect homes. They start protecting yours the moment you call. No stress, no mess, no more buckets in the living room. The wet weather's coming, so you need to take advantage of that free roof inspection now. I encourage you to call and get the Valentine experience. Seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, extra mile service, and every new roof is backed by a lifetime warranty. That's what you want. You want that lifetime warranty. And with zero down financing for most projects, you can get the work done now. You can pay over time. So stop the leaks before they start. Call 206 Roofing and get your free estimate today. That's 206 Roofing.
What if you had the smartest Wi-Fi? If you did, it'd be Xfinity, of course. And it'd come with their best state-of-the-art equipment. It would boost speeds to the devices that needed them most, prioritizing your most important connections, whether you were streaming, gaming, or gaming while pretending to work. And it would let you stream 4. That's right, 4 games on one screen. It would even power your mobile connection so you could bring faster, secure Wi-Fi speeds with you where you use it most. It would be proactive and fix problems before you knew you had them. Impressive, right? And it would have security features that protect you from threats at home and online. Kinda like a force field for your life. If you had the smartest Wi-Fi, well, everything would work together seamlessly to keep you connected, no matter what. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply.
My name is Jonas Khan. I'm the founder and chairman of Carbitex. We're based here in Kennewick, Washington. We focus on the testing, development, and manufacturing of flexible carbon fiber composites. And we have about 50 people here in Washington. Operating a business in Washington State has a whole host of challenges. We're an AWB member because as a small and medium-sized business, AWB is able to handle so many aspects of state and federal regulations and changes that we don't have the resources to focus on. And of course, being able to take advantage of Health Choice has been a huge help for Carbitex. As we're structuring our compensation package for our employees who are coming on board, a cornerstone of that is health insurance. Not just any health insurance, it has to be high quality, easy to use, a great network, and we have that with Health Choice. And that's just been extremely helpful for us.
If you're looking for a great health plan for your employees, visit ProPointServices.com. Health Choice Trust is offered through the Association of Washington Business and powered by Primera Blue Cross.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than to tear out. Stop waiting. For 18 years, we've been honored to serve thousands of happy customers, and we'd love to serve you. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
Open enrollment for Medicare is coming up. Are you ready? Herb Weisbaum, the consumer man here. Get organized early with a Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit from the Insurance Commissioner's Sheba program. Order your free copy today at insurance.wa.gov.
Welcome back to the show. Spike, have you ever heard, you ever watched like a really bad blowout in a high school game of some kind?
Like from the field or the sideline? You mean? Because I've been a part of these.
Have you been a part of one of these blowouts? I've been a part of these,
yeah.
As a player on what? Because you played lacrosse, right?
I played lacrosse and I played football.
Oh, okay.
At an all-boys school with 1,600 guys to field teams from. So we were on the brutal winning end of some of these games.
Were you guys kind of a powerhouse?
We were a public school that played in the private school league.
Gotcha.
Because we were an all-city school that drew from the entirety of the Baltimore school district. You could, if you had the grades, you could go to Baltimore Poly, where I went. And we would play teams from much smaller communities, much smaller neighborhoods, without any resources. We played on fields that were just dirt and rocks next to train tracks. Our field had a stadium with bleachers on both sides and lights and electric scoreboard and all these things.
Did you play teams that were competitive against you, or did you just punching down the whole time?
No, most of the time we did. We played. We had a requirement to play within the city conference, and we also played in the
non-conference play.
In non-conference,
okay,
of the private leagues.
The reason I bring it up is I'm sure you've seen the story too, so we're talking about it right now.
I saw the story. Breaks your heart.
There was two teams that were playing a game just this last weekend in Alabama, in the part of the Alabama High School Athletic Association. And they scored, let's see here, there was one team, Williamson, scored 100 points, which is, that's a lot of talent on the field to score 100 points. You're scoring a lot of touchdowns.
You got it. Almost not enough time in the game to score 100 points.
Yeah, I don't even know how do you have the ball the entire time?
Yeah, well, 3 and out is the other team's 3 and out.
The team they were playing is called Murphy High School, who is not as good as Williamson.
Right.
They scored 0 points, and so the end of the game is 100-0. The interesting thing that happens, you have these two coaches who decide to meet at I think at halftime.
Yeah.
The team that ended up winning, obviously 100-0, approaches the other team and says, hey, you know what? We're up 73-0 at halftime. Do you guys want to just run the clock and just be done with this thing?
End this as soon as possible.
Let's end this. You don't need to do this to yourselves. You know, this is like, it's not helping anybody out. We're going to win the game. And the coach of the losing team had an interesting response in that he said, nope, I want my team to finish the game out and continue playing. And so the winning team scores an additional 27 points.
Up 73-0 to half, 100 by the final. Yeah.
What do you think of that coach's decision to finish the game out?
I think that he did his young men a true service.
Yeah.
By not just throwing your hands up, by actually stepping up to the ball, making tackles, running the ball.
I thought the exact same thing when I saw the story. I was like, good for that coach.
And the 73-0, 100-0 coach from Williamson, he had put in his second team. He put in his third team. He brought middle schoolers to put in the game against the team from Murphy, who didn't have any success against this other team. And that's how you learn. You learn more from your mistakes than you do from your victories in life, if you're well coached.
And the team who won, they're highly ranked. They're like the third best team in the state or something.
And
Bama,
where football is a religion.
That is as
Right?
big a state as you can get football.
Yeah.
And the other team is, they're completely defeated. They're not undefeated. They're defeated the entire season so far.
Yeah.
I think they're 0-5 or 6 now. But I totally agree with you. When I saw that he forced his kids to finish the game out, it's the kind of thing where, like, your kids sign up for things. I'm sure you had this experience as well. But my kids occasionally will sign up for things. I had one of my oldest son, a few years ago, he wanted to do ASB. He wanted to sign up for ASB. And about 3 weeks into ASB, and he was elected for it or whatever you got to do to get the job.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, I don't like ASB. I don't want to do ASB anymore. And we told him, because it required that you go to school early, you got to get there.
Yeah.
You volunteered for this. You signed up for this. You have to go and finish out what you have committed to doing.
There you go.
And he's never done ASB since. As soon as it was done and he didn't have to go anymore, he was happy not to go anymore.
Taught him a valuable lesson, though, buddy.
But it was a valuable lesson.
Yep.
You have to.
Word.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And so I think this coach did a great job.
Honor your commitments. I think so, too.
Good for him.
And, you worry about injuries at that point, and you speak to if you're the coach of Williamson, you speak
say,
to your
go
players.
easy, guys.
Yeah, guys.
And I think they must have, because they scored 73 in the first half.
They held them to 27 in the second half. Really turned the corner. Murphy's on the uptick.
You want some small little victory for that Murphy team. Like, you just want them to get one stop.
Yeah,
like
and some ice cream on the way home.
1/3 down stop.
Yeah. One third down stop.
1/3 down stop.
That's a victory.
All right.
Kind of like the Husky game last weekend.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oy, oy, oy.
We got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
He's Rick Riz, the voice of the Mariners for 40 years. And every Thursday morning at 7:15, it's the Rick Riz Show with Seattle's Morning News.
Winning the AL West, what this means for fans and how important this is.
My goodness, it's the first time in 24 years. Think about it. 24 years ago, Ichiro was a rookie. There's the joy behind that feeling.
Get the full conversation on the KIRO Newsradio app and at mynorthwest.com.
Are you happy with how you're feeling these days? Are you slowing down physically or mentally? Ever wonder what your life will be like 10 to 15 years from now? Most of us don't really know how we're aging or if we can even do anything about it. But here's the truth. Knowledge is power, and that's exactly where we start at Longevity Medical Clinic. We run advanced diagnostics to find out what's really going on inside your body, and then we create a personalized hormone and health optimization plan designed specifically to help you live better starting now. Our patients are often amazed by what they discover in their blood work, and even more amazed at how quickly they start to feel like themselves again. This isn't guesswork, it's science, it's personal, and it works. Take the first step today. Call 866-86-YOUNG or visit lmclinic.com to schedule your free consultation. Longevity Medical Clinic. Feel better today and every day after that.
Cold is leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
If you plan to use the carpool lanes along SR 167, you'll soon need a flex pass set to HOV mode to ride free. That's a change. Having Good to Go always costs less than pay by mail. That is not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's CARS with a K to donate your car today.
1-877-CARS for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS for Kids. Donate your.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
It's G. Scott. School's back and it's rally time. Time to rally around the campaign to keep kids healthy. Kids need fruits and veggies to grow strong and stay focused, but for families on tight budgets, that's not easy. Safeway and the Washington State Department of Health have teamed up and need your help. Every dollar you donate at Safeway checkout helps families in need. And with SNAP Produce Match, they get twice as much for the dollar. Next time you're at Safeway, please donate to keep kids healthy.
Looking for high-quality assisted living that won't drain your life savings? At Care Partners Living, we offer compassionate care at a price that helps stretch and preserve your estate. No unnecessary luxury, just the support you need with dignity and heart. And if you ever need to convert to Medicaid, you don't have to move. With communities across Washington and Arizona, including new locations in Port Orchard, Sumner, Mercer Island, and North Creek Bothell, there's a Care Partners community near you. Care Partners Living, compassionate care and peace of mind. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth called generals and admirals from their posts around the world to gather in Virginia, where he spoke to them about reshaping the Pentagon culture.
Pacifism is so naive and dangerous. It ignores human nature and it ignores human history.
And Hegseth said the era of politically correct, overly sensitive, don't hurt anyone's feelings leadership ends right now. Here's correspondent Charlie D'Agata.
The question, was it necessary to get your very highest ranking individuals from all over the world, pull them in from field offices in some of these places that are conflict zones in Europe with Ukraine, in the Middle East with Gaza and Israel, etc. Bring them all here all at the same time. And of course, there's going to be staff, there's going to be advisors, when you probably could have sent a memo out, or you could have had a secure video conference, which is how this is traditionally done.
President Trump also addressed the gathering and said U.S. cities could be used as a training ground for the military. In Portland, Oregon, where National Guard troops could arrive this week, City Council President Ilana Pertle-Guiney.
The National Guard in Oregon, and these are Oregonians that we're talking about, are used to being deployed to support their communities when we have major fires. This type of law enforcement action is certainly not what Portland is asking for.
The president said today drug maker Pfizer has agreed to lower drug costs. Olivia Rinaldi has more.
He signed this executive order back in May directing these companies to voluntarily lower their prices or face some consequences. That deadline for those voluntary agreements was on Monday, and it seems that Pfizer reached a deal with this administration. The president said that these prices will be reflected immediately, and they're expecting more deals to happen with other pharmaceutical companies that should be announced in the coming weeks and days.
There's still no agreement to prevent a government shutdown at midnight. Senate Majority Leader John Thune.
We are not going to be held hostage for over $1 trillion in new spending on a continuing resolution.
But Democrats are standing firm in their demand for money to extend Obamacare subsidies set to expire at the end of the year. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
They'd rather shut the government down than protect the health care of the American people.
A stark warning today from Ukraine's President Zelensky. He said the Zaporizhia nuclear plant could be in critical condition. It's been off the grid now for 7 days. It's in Russian-held territory. On Wall Street today, stocks finished higher, the Dow up 81 points. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com.
Coming up, a school bus driver strike is looming in Everett. That's after we go to Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
All right, this report brought to you by Global Credit Union. Let's start you up in Hood Canal. We're seeing big backups up there due to a recent bridge closure for marine traffic. Now, that bridge just reopened like 2 minutes ago, so these backups will now begin to thin out. And it's that time of the day again when the Boeing freeway is packed from the plant over to I-5 eastbound, where a shift change is underway. Heading into Seattle, South 5 packed from Northeast 50th in the U District into downtown. Linwood to Seattle, 20 minutes. South 405 is thick between Southeast 8th and Bellevue down to Coal Creek Parkway. Bellevue to Renton, plan on 20 to 25 minutes. Renton to Auburn, 15 minutes on southbound 167. Starting to fill in now between Kent and Auburn. And, of course, northbound 167. We're packed through Pacific with those lane closures. And now northbound on the West Valley Highway is starting to jam up through Pacific, but still a better option. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granello. School bus drivers in Everett threatened a strike. Their union says members are pushing for pay and benefits in line with other districts. Pete Lamb is the president of Teamsters Local 38.
Strike is imminent. We're going to do everything in our power to prevent that.
Lamb tells KIRO 7 TV there is no timetable for a strike, but members have already voted to authorize one. Union is still negotiating with the bus operator, Durham School Services. No comment yet from them. New details about the driver who damaged the 167 bridge near Pacific last week. KIRO News Radio's Chris Sullivan has more.
The official police report says the 70-year-old truck driver was cited for negligent driving in the second degree and given a $564 ticket. Pacific Police reports the driver was behind the wheel of a large dump truck when it hit the bridge. The driver had just delivered a load but drove off with the truck bed in the up position. The driver told police he didn't realize that the bed was stuck. It's expected that 2 of the 3 lanes of northbound 167 will remain closed for months as WashDOT makes repairs. Chris Sullivan, KIRO News Radio.
Thurston County Sheriff Derek Sanders is sounding the alarm over looming budget cuts. He says his office is facing $4.5 million in cuts.
It would signify the largest setback for law enforcement and public safety in the history of this county.
Sanders says he would have to cut at least 30 deputies and close part of the jail. The county commissioners are meeting at this hour to discuss that budget. County faces an overall $36 million budget deficit next year. An explosive discovery by a 3-year-old in Grant County. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi reports that boy found a live grenade in his family's front yard.
The Washington State Patrol Bomb Squad carefully moved that World War II-era grenade from the family's yard in Heartline to a rural area where they safely disposed of it. It had been exposed to the elements for some time, according to the Grant County Sheriff's Office, but it's not clear exactly how long it had been there or how it got there in the first place. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
Out of the weather, brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. A nice afternoon today before showers start to roll through later on tonight. Around 5 or 6, we'll start to see the rain move in and continue for several hours. Right now, 68 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. It's the all-new Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio.
Welcome back to the show. 2 hours now, 1 hour to go. Just flying by. Tons of stuff to talk about. Government shutdown. There's a CNN clock. 6 hours, 53 minutes, 36, 5, 4 seconds.
We'll be bringing it to you live.
We'll be bringing it to you live if and when it happens. Likely to happen. Midnight Eastern time.
Yeah, they're not talking, man.
Speaking of closing down, did you see this? Walmart closed down in, they lost a store in King County.
They're closing down a store in Federal Way.
Federal Way. And I think Federal has 2 Walmarts.
They
Am I
do.
mistaken about
no,
that?
No, you're spot on.
2 Walmarts.
They're going to close.
One.
They're going to close the one on 314th. I think it is. It's the one that's a little bit north of the Commons in Federal Way, right? That we used to be the the big super off 320th. They're closing the location that's north of there, a couple blocks north there on 314. They're going to keep the one open That's one exit further south along I-5 at the intersection of Route 18. That there's a Costco there. There's a Walmart there. That one's a Walmart superstore.
Maybe a little more foot traffic.
I think so.
The whole area is pretty packed, though.
It is, and it's growing like crazy. I'm amazed that Costco doesn't have the business generated to Walmart to keep both businesses open. Because it's not a high income neighborhood.
I don't think it's a foot traffic area. Problem. No, I don't think it's a foot traffic problem. Walmart I was surprised by this, have 63 locations in Washington.
Yeah.
None of the other 63 locations are expected to close.
That's good. That's good news.
This was the 64th location, I guess, that they are closing. It is surprising because Walmart is one of those companies where I feel like they're pretty selective in where they put their locations.
Yeah.
And because they are what they are, like you and I were talking about this before the show, it's a superstore.
Yeah.
They have everything. And because they have everything, a lot of times, every time they go into a smaller community, you see that businesses close down because they can't compete against a Walmart.
Now, with the volume they do business, the way they bring
prices,
products in,
absolutely.
You bet.
And so in an area like Federal Way, that's a very high traffic area. I mean, if you can support two Walmarts.
And they're developing it all the time. Every time you go down there's more stuff being built, more housing being built, more retail being built.
Here's was a statement.
They're about to get the light rail down to that, right?
Yeah.
That's the next stop for light rail.
Yeah, so that should be there in 25 years. KIRO 7 got a statement from Walmart. They said, "We are grateful to the customers who have given us the privilege of serving them at our Federal Way General Store. We look forward to continuing to serve them at our Federal Way Supercenter or other nearby locations on Walmart.com and through delivery to their home or business." So I was thinking about this because they don't say in this story why they're closing down. I have my suspicions, but one of them they do mention here. They say it's not a supercenter. This was a general store, so it's smaller.
Right.
They don't have as many of the items. People can get that at the supercenter.
I think you can get dental work done at this one. At the superstore, I think you can get dental work, taxidermy.
You can get your tires changed. You can get your teeth changed.
No, make jokes, but you're right. They have a full auto center down there. They got it all.
So this is, I guess that could be one of the reasons. The other thing you mentioned there is Walmart.com. People getting home delivery.
Yeah.
This is such a Walmart more than anybody else. I guess they were positioned to do it because of their size. But Walmart has made more inroads in competing with Amazon.
I wholeheartely agree.
Than any other business out there.
Yeah, it's because of the volume, the scope of business that they do.
The size of their business. They have ramped up that. They have recognized that that's the future. People don't want to have to go into a place. My wife will not go into a store. She just won't unless she has to. Everything comes to the house. She's too busy doing other stuff.
I'm trying to look surprised, but I can't fake it. My wife's the same way.
Same way.
Why would she go? Why would she? And it makes sense. Pardon me. It makes sense because you're saving money on gas. You're saving your time, and you're saving money because you get to shop right there at your fingertips.
You can
competitively price things out.
So here's the thing that's a benefit. There's two. I have two thoughts about it. One, I always think to myself, groceries have gotten so crazy expensive. Everything is so much these days. I used to not pay as much, and I used to shop in store. So I am wondering, how much you're paying because it's coming to your house versus just shopping at the store. I imagine, pound for pound, you could probably shop cheaper if you go in person. You're probably paying
to skip delivery charges.
But the delivery charge, for something like we use Whole Foods. Whole Foods has a monthly subscription charge where if you whatever it is, $10 a month or something, and then you can shop as much as you want if you buy more than $25, which is basically eggs,
right? Yeah, really.
So if you get
a whole dozen,
if you get 18 eggs,
you're done,
and some paper towels, then that's the delivery cost that you need to over the threshold.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people are doing that, but I have one I don't think they would be making it so easy for people to shop online and have it delivered direct to your house if it was costing them money, right?
Right. No, that makes sense.
They wouldn't be propping that up if they weren't making more money doing it. Because if they make it easier for people to shop and get it delivered to your home, because in the old days, if you ran out of paper towels, you'd have to wait a week until you decided to go shopping again to get the paper towels. But now you just go paper towels, bing bong, and it's at your house.
It's coming at your door.
In 20 minutes. So I think that's probably playing a lot into why this location shut down.
Yeah.
The other thing is crime. I do think that they ran into some crime. I just did a cursory search, and there's been, in that parking lot, this parking lot.
Of the 314th
They've had
Street location,
vehicle
yeah.
theft.
Oh,
they have had assaults. They have had some of these issues that people in the community were saying, hey, you need to add extra security to the parking lot so that we feel safe using the parking lot. And
Walmart said, or we could just close this location and have y'all truck down to the superstore.
Yeah, or go to the supercenter.
Right.
And maybe that's just, a better price for us, and we don't have to police the parking lot, and, Bob's your uncle. That's how that happens.
It makes it easy for business to pull their business when you don't take care of the neighborhood.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of business, did you see this story? This takes effect this week, a new sales tax on services.
Yeah.
This is one of those stories that is not surprising because people knew this was going to happen. When Bob Ferguson was elected, they signed a massive, what was it, $12 billion in new taxes for Washington State? Is that about right? $12 billion?
That's pretty close. Was it 9? I'm probably when it gets you that painful of a
anywhere between 9 and 12.
That's
Laura, can you look up how many the new taxes that Ferguson just signed into law? So largest tax increase in Washington history. I think it's 12. I don't know why that's sticking out. I could be wrong.
You're probably right. I tried to black out the pain.
Let's call it 12.2.
Okay.
And Laura's going to look it up here. But there's a new sales tax that's kicking in, and Senate Bill 5814. Is one of the biggest moneymakers, used to bring in an estimated $3.6 billion over the next 2 years.
That's on services, right? Is that where that one's
just services?
Right?
Yeah.
The things you do that didn't used to be taxable, now they are.
Like we did a story last week about a little pottery company.
Right.
And that little pottery company is now technically a live demonstration business. And because they're a live demonstration business, they are now subject to an additional tax of 10.2%.
Yeah.
Which, to a tiny little company who's, just growing out of a person's living room and now they finally have a shop front, you tell them they're going to make 10% less because they have now been categorized as a live demonstration business. That's how you kill a pottery company. And last time I checked, there weren't like a ton of pottery businesses around because it's probably tough to do business.
And any small business is that's the margin for these companies.
Yeah.
This additional tax burden that the state's tacking because they got budget deficits and they got to find a way to make the money somehow. And that's
100%.
the only, and they did some trimming, not enough to anybody's liking. They did some trimming of this. Was it the $16 billion shortfall? They trimmed $8
billion and raised
shortfall. 9 or whatever it was.
Most of it, they're just raising taxes.
Most of it, raising taxes,
kicking it down the road.
And, we talk about Walmart driving small businesses out of town. That's great because you've got a Walmart that you can still get all the things that you need. But when
you got a supercenter,
right? But when you have all these businesses that Walmart ain't got a pottery class in their building.
Not yet.
Not yet. Coming
Not
soon.
yet.
When you make it impossible, you've brought me around to this. When you make it impossible to do business in your town, it costs a lot to live in a nice area, and that means that you've got to pay taxes to maintain the amenities that come with it being in a nice area, whether it's roads or schools or law enforcement or whatever it is. But when you make it so people can't do business, what do they think is going to happen?
So according to this story, Department of Revenue hosted listening sessions with affected businesses. Over 90,000 businesses are expected to pay under this new law. Number one, I didn't know there was 90,000 businesses in the state. Is that possible?
Sure.
Sure. That's a lot. The idea that those small little businesses, those are a lot of those businesses. I imagine many, many, many of those businesses are less than 15 employees. Those are small, tiny little mom and pop shops.
Yeah, oftentimes those smaller businesses find themselves exempt from various taxing thresholds. Because we talk about Walmart, and Walmart's the biggest employer in the country, right? If I'm not mistaken.
They probably have,
right? Because of more locations and more employees. They're America's biggest employer.
Yeah, that's probably close.
And they can afford to take a hit here, there, and wherever. But, you don't drive them out of the neighborhood.
But even for Walmart, in the one that we just talked about, the closing on Federal Way, that's 250 people who now have to either be moved to a different location, of which there's another one in Federal Way. But other than that, you got to drive a little distance.
Well, that place is already fully staffed.
Probably.
They're not going to be absorbed them all.
Yeah, absolutely. So it just makes it tough. And these poor businesses are going to have to put up with this. It just doesn't seem fair that somebody with the swipe of a pen, because they have managed money incorrectly, can just say to you, you know what? You're going to pay us. It's coming from you. Where last year, that pottery company, they didn't have to worry about that. Maybe business was starting to pick up, and maybe it was starting to look like, hey, you know what? Maybe this is a business we can hand down to our kids.
Right. Turn the corner on this thing.
Maybe this is a thing that we can actually, as a family, generationally do and be excited about, and then you see Ferguson step in and go, hey, you know what, we suck with money, so we're going to take a bunch of yours. Now that business, I don't know how you survive. Just 10% off the top, gone. That's like mafia territory. Those businesses go under. It's like that scene in Goodfellas, and when the last dime has been sucked out,
you torch the place.
Then you torch the place.
Don't give me any ideas.
You know what I mean?
I do.
Like, how is that different?
It's not. It's funny because we're an affluent region. We have some very high. The median income in Seattle is high.
Yeah.
Right. So we have all these affluent earners.
Yeah.
in
What was
town.
that number we did the other day? The average, the median married couple salary in Seattle is over $250,000.
Or is it $250? Right.
Because they stopped counting at $250.
Right. Those people can take a tax hit.
Sure.
They can afford. They've got some cushion in their lives.
I don't want them to.
No.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So and when those people vote in mass, because we have such an affluent earning and voting population, they don't take into consideration how it affects those people on the edge that are trying to go paycheck to paycheck, day in, day out. Utility bills are going up, food bills are going up.
I totally agree.
Rent increases are going up, and
gas prices,
everything's
all this stuff. That's a killer for people on the lower end of that chain, and that's where it comes from. $12 billion in new taxes. It doesn't all come from the Walmarts and giant businesses. It comes from these tiny little businesses. All right, real fast. Choco Taco is back. Did you see this?
I did. And I was confused when I saw this.
I was too, because they're not calling it the Choco Taco.
No.
What is it called, Spike?
It's at first I thought it was the Taco Latte.
Yeah.
And when I saw that title, I was sickened.
I thought it was
because you throw a taco in a blender, throw some caffeine in there, you got a taco latte.
Oh, I didn't think that's what it was. I thought it was a coffee flavored ice cream taco.
Okay,
but it's not.
No.
I don't think that's what it is.
It's a tacolet.
Tacolet.
Like chocolate. Tacolet.
Tacolate.
Yeah. Tacolet.
And I
think
is
also a pretty bad name.
It's a horrible name. It doesn't roll off the tongue like Choco Taco.
Somebody got a Choco Taco, and that's a great name, and it's a great treat, and that's fine. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You got to come in and try to chew into their market, if you take a bite out of their market, if you pardon the pun.
Well, what's silly about this is an ice creamery. What is this called? This is Salt and Straw.
Yeah, then they're like a boutique. There's
Portland-based,
right.
And now they have a few locations up here in Seattle.
I think Aaron Gridnow said 6 of them in the area.
6 of them.
3 on the east side, 3 on the west side here.
They're teaming up with Taco Bell to bring you a new version.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They
when
said
worlds collide.
The company announced they were helping. This
they
is from
get
Seattle
community
Times.
service for that?
The company announced they were helping Portland ice cream chain Salt and Straw bring its version of the Choco Taco to the world. And they're calling it the Tacolet, which is the dumbest name I've ever heard. Tacolet.
It sounds a little too...
They said, hey, beforehand we had something called the Choco Taco, which everybody loved, and it's easy to say, which is marketing 101. And then they said, well, we already called it Choco, so let's just take the Choco out. What are we left with? It's like the Late.
Yeah.
And then we'll call it the Tacolet. Does it make any sense to you?
It sounds like I should wash my hands after I eat one. That's what it sounds like.
Does it sound good to you?
No, it's not very appealing. Why don't they just call it the Choco Taco, brought to you by with Salt and Straw? I mean, why do you got to change the name of it? What are you putting them? These are going to be in Taco Times or Taco Bell's?
No.
Taco Bell's?
These are going to be in Salt and Straws. You can't get these at a Taco Bell. Choco Taco, when I was a kid, did you have Choco Tacos, Laura, when you were growing up?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did they go out of business? I mean, not Taco Bell.
Pretty recently, as in maybe 5 years ago. I'll look it up.
Choco Tacos were around until 5 years ago? Why do I think they were around, gone 15 years ago?
They were after my era. You
didn't have Choco Tacos?
No.
You just had ice cream?
Discontinued July 2022, in the middle of summer. That's
really
brutal.
I didn't think they were that recent. Well, they should bring them back because Tacolet is an incredibly ridiculous name. Here's what they're going to be served with. Co-branded with Taco Bell, served with wild berry, cinnamon, and mango jalapeno dipping sauce packets.
What?
It's too fancy, folks. It's too fancy. Well, I don't want mango and cinnamon.
Jalapeno dipping sauce?
Do I want jalapeno and wild berry mango cinnamon? With my
this is very Salt and Straw, and it sounds very good to me. But they do this. Like, they have a goat cheese and dried black olive ice cream.
What?
At Halloween, they put one that has, like, bugs in it on the menu.
Real bugs?
Real bugs.
Like what kind of bugs?
Like crickets? People eat
Yeah,
crickets for
people eat
protein.
crickets.
Yeah. You ever seen people eat, some parts of the world, that's the only source of protein that they get, or it's a major supplement to
Where? They're only eating crickets?
Yeah, they supplement their diet with crickets. Yeah.
You've never heard of a cow? They're only eating crickets.
They worship the cow in some parts of the world. They
Well,
don't
I know
eat it.
that, but I don't think in that part of the world they're only eating crickets.
It's called Creepy Crawly Critters.
I think they've seen the chicken.
It's a sweet green matcha ice cream with crunchy chocolate crickets and toffee brittle mealworms.
Oh,
isn't that real meal? Toffee brittle mealworms, right?
So it's toffee?
I'm reading this
or
off
is
their website.
Is it mealworms dipped in toffee brittle?
They're real.
Oh my god!
Let me ask you this question: do they have the taco-lit on the menu? Does it already show you the price of it? What's the taco-lit cost? So in my recollection, it was a Choco Taco was like $2, but that was when I was a child, so double that now.
I'm like struggling to even spell this taco-lit.
Taco late, one word. Taco late at Salt and Straw, served with a mango jalapeno dipping sauce. Ugh, no thank you. I'm also allergic to ice cream, so this is not even.
How you do with crickets? Because you can crickets are a
I could do.
Crickets are a natural source of protein that is enjoyed maybe Asia, Africa,
Stomached.
South America.
Yeah.
Often roasted, fried, ground into powders for dishes. They use the protein.
Have you ever eaten any bugs?
Yeah.
What bugs have you eaten?
I've eaten crickets.
Have you?
Yeah. We were in Zambia.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes
They
sense.
also had them at the Mariners Stadium.
One in Rome.
They what?
Yeah, they sell crickets at the baseball games.
To eat?
Yeah, to eat. New York
Not
Times
just-
says
not just for your
the
pet?
taco-lit will cost about $7.50. On the
It's ridiculous.
on the Salt and Star website, it's just a wait list. They don't have a price listed.
You got to
so.
get on a wait list to eat a Choco Taco.
I'm gonna get on it. I missed the Choco
I call that
Taco.
a put on some weight list is what I call that.
Yeah. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Times are good, folks. You ever hear anybody complaining about modern times?
Mm-hmm.
Then you see them waiting on a wait list for a Choco Taco that they're paying almost $10 for. Just remind them of that.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Yeah, first world problem.
Life is good. All right. Chris Sullivan is going to join us next. He's going to tell us about what's his grade for all these washed-out projects that they did these last couple of months during the summer.
Busy summer.
He's going to tell us. Stick around. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens.
Seattle's Morning News.
Hi, I'm Charlie Harger.
And I'm Amanda Factor.
Tomorrow, we welcome October and possibly a blast of fall wind.
October, a month the Mariners will be playing ball this year.
We'll be keeping an eye on Portland, where the president has ordered deployment of the National Guard.
And all the day's top local and national news, sits only with traffic every 10 minutes on the 3s.
So join us tomorrow, 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
Are you looking at senior living options for you or a loved one? If so, you likely have many questions like, what can I afford? How long will my savings last? And if I run out of money, will I have to move out? If these questions are weighing on you, I'm here to talk you through different solutions. Hi, I'm Amanda from Care Partners Senior Living. At Care Partners, we're focused on offering high-quality, compassionate care at very affordable prices to help stretch and preserve your assets. And if you ever run out of funds and need to convert to Medicaid, you won't have to move. We have vibrant communities throughout Western Washington, Spokane, and Arizona offering independent, assisted living, and memory care. Our caregivers are some of the most loving and genuine people you'll ever meet. Stretch your assets, preserve your estate, and never worry about moving. That's peace of mind in the Care Partners Living difference. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com. Care Partners is excited to announce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, Snohomish, and North Creek Bothell. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Crawl space and attics are not places you want to spend much time, but many homes in our area can have serious issues behind the hatches. Hi, it's the owner of Crawl Pros, Richard Herron. For years, you've heard us talking about how we go where you don't want to. with our free corner-to-corner inspection to keep your crawl space and attic well insulated and free of mold and water. You've also heard about the pest control division of our company to keep your home bug and critter free. I'm excited to tell you about our newest division, Plumber Pros. Plumber Pros takes the same customer-first approach to plumbing that we do with our crawl space, attic, and pest control work. We've handpicked skilled plumbers that I know you'll feel comfortable inviting into your home. So next time you run into plumbing issues, from leaky faucets and clogged drains to full home repipes and sub pump installations, call Crawl Pros and we'll get our plumbing division, Plumber Pros, out to get it resolved. For anything related to your crawl space, attic, pest control, or plumbing, call Crawl Pros or visit us at crawlpros.com.
Hey, this is Jake Skorheim. You know what's stressful? A leaky roof. That's why Valentine Roofing offers a leak stop guarantee. They'll stop the leak for free until your brand new Valentine roof can be safely installed. No stress, no mess, no more buckets in your living room. And with 0 down financing for most projects, you can get the work done now and pay over time. So choose the Valentine experience. Seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, extra mile service, and every new roof backed by a lifetime warranty. Call 206 Roofing and get your free estimate today. That's 206 Roofing.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/radio for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
If you're a veteran struggling with your monthly bills, VA loan expert Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage has some good news for you.
Rates have dropped recently, and this could be a great time for our veterans to think about a cash-out refinance to get out of your high-interest rate debt. For example, one of our clients had a 2.25% VA loan, but he owed more than $155,000 on credit cards and a home equity loan. So we paid off all of that debt and replaced his mortgage with a VA cash-out refinance. And the new VA loan saved him $1,268 per month. So give us a call and see if a VA cash-out refi can help save you money. And remember, with a VA loan, you can buy a home with no money down.
And you can help non-veterans as well.
That's right. If you have a conventional loan, we'll run the numbers and see if we can help save you money, too.
Honest advice you can trust from the VA loan experts, Best Mortgage. Call now, 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
I'm Macy House with Baird Global Investment Banking. In today's markets, global financial capabilities aren't worth much without personal attention to your priorities. Baird Banking, Research, and Private Equity professionals are located across 3 continents, sharing more than investment expertise. As employee owners of our firm, we all have a personal stake in your success, here in the Pacific Northwest and around the world. Discover the Baird difference. Visit rwbaird.com/Seattle.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granello. There is still no deal in sight to avert a federal government shutdown. President Trump threatened to make permanent cuts during a potential shutdown.
A lot of good can come down from shutdowns. We can get rid of a lot of things that we didn't want, and they'd be Democrat things.
Democrats want Republicans to extend Obamacare tax credits that are set to expire at the end of the year. Washington U.S. Senator Patty Murray.
Republicans are shutting down government rather than working with us to fix this healthcare crisis.
If no deal is reached, the government closes at midnight Eastern Time. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth declares an end to political correctness in the military. Speaking to a crowd of generals and admirals today, he vowed to reawaken the military's warrior spirit.
The only mission
of the newly restored Department of War is this: warfighting, preparing for war and preparing to win.
President Trump also addressed that same crowd, suggesting they use American cities as training grounds for the military. KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey reports from Portland, where National Guard members are set to arrive later this week to protect an ICE facility.
A relatively quiet morning and day here in Southwest Portland. Only the occasional shouting match between ICE and Homeland Security officers and protesters who have camped out here for weeks now. But now with 200 National Guard troops on the way to this facility, protesters like Emil say they're not deterred.
I used to be in the military. I'm not scared at all.
Those troops are scheduled to be here by Thursday. No word if they will be armed. In Portland, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Well, today is the last day to take advantage of federal tax credits for electric vehicles. That includes up to $7,500 for a new EV. The State Commerce Department's Stephen Herskowitz says eliminating the credits will impact sales here.
There is going to be a bit of a drag on the growth rate that we have seen. So we've already seen the market growth slow down in 2024 into 2025.
Washington already eliminated our state tax incentives for EVs back in July. Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk at 2:33 with Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. Let's start you up in Hood Canal. We're still seeing some big backups out there near the bridge due to a recent closure for marine traffic. It's been open, though, for about a half hour. Federal Way, North 5 at State Route 18, we've got a new collision. It's taken up 2 right lanes. You're backed up bumper to bumper inside that Fife curve. Tacoma to Federal Way is at 25 minutes, about a 10-minute delay here. Over the hill to the Valley Freeway, both directions of State Route 167 are heavy between Algona and Pacific. Seattle to Federal Way, plan on a half hour. You're filling in along South Center. North 5 slows at the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown. South 5, you're packed from Northeast 50th in the downtown. Linwood to Seattle has jumped to a half hour. Southbound 405, pretty heavy still from Southeast 8th and Bellevue through Coal Creek Parkway, and then you'll thin out. Bellevue to Renton, 25 minutes, and really everywhere else is looking good. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And your forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Clouds today, rain moves in later tonight. Right now, 68 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. All right, I'm very excited about this. It's nice to look back and find out how successful summer road projects are. We all lived through them.
We did.
We were stuck.
Wasn't easy, but we got through this.
A lot of traffic, a mere taste of what's to come. But Chris Sullivan, who keeps track of all this stuff, and he's great about it, joins us now. Chris Sullivan, welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Chris, you looked back at the summer of WashDOT, which is when in Washington State you have to do all the road projects.
And when you do a lot of the maintenance stuff, a lot of the stuff that you can't really get to when the weather's bad. And also, this is primarily a look at what the maintenance department does, the 1,500 people whose job it is to basically
keep everything
smooth. Going. And the reason they work during the summer is because during the winter, they're plowing the roads. So for the maintenance workers for the 3 months, basically June, July, and August, they got a lot done. I mean, they repaved miles, they cut down a bunch of brush, they mowed a bunch of brush, they took down a bunch of dead trees, they replaced a bunch of guardrail, they spent 40,000 hours cleaning our rest areas in our state, so they had to close those from time to time, but they put in 40,000 man hours.
Wow. How
cleaning.
many rest stations
We have a bunch. We have a bunch, not just up and down I-5, but a lot on the going I-90 as well.
I know this number. Why do I know this number? We have like 50 or something,
right? I have the number on the top of my head, but there's a pretty decent chunk of them.
I've seen all of them, by the way. There's a National Park Service map you can.
I have christened every one of those rest stops.
Well, then if that follows
the 40,000 hours of cleanup required.
Well, that also replies that they had to put in 3,000 miles of toilet paper at those rest areas in terms of replacing it.
You're kidding me.
No, so that's enough to wipe from here to New York. If you were curious,
there are 47. I was.
There we go. 47.
There
Yeah, you're pretty close.
Rest stops.
Yeah, so they put in a lot of.
You see my brain? You see how it works?
Yeah.
I locked it away somewhere, and I said, if I got to go to the bathroom, I know where to go.
335 tons of trash that they removed.
Doesn't know the name of one of his 4 kids, but he knows the 47 rest stops.
I can never get those names right.
A bunch of graffiti removed. So I think they did a pretty good job doing what they could to take care of the stuff.
What's the grade? That's what we're.
I would say probably a B+. I mean, I know they probably could have.
B+.
Well, for this kind of work, Yes.
You're never going to get an A for scrubbing a toilet?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
You would have to open all the other rest areas, I think, to get. But
and use a better graded toilet paper.
Yeah, perhaps maybe 3-ply. But honestly, we're in a lot of trouble in Olympia. I don't think we can afford 3-ply.
No.
I mean, if you've used those bathrooms, you're barely getting 1-ply. It's kind of half-ply.
Keep that for the capital itself.
It's like a.
We don't need to talk anymore about
wing
that.
of a moth that just disintegrates as soon as it touches.
Yeah, so I mean, this is the stuff that you don't see, but you kind of get stuck behind from time to time. And I just want to remind everybody what it is that, what they were doing out there for our tax dollars. Mowing and keeping sightlines open is a very important thing. And again, these folks will now start transitioning into the fall and winter weather. They'll be the people cleaning out storm drains when the leaves fall and back them up and create, power sliding on I-5.
I know last weekend there were a lot of last-minute projects underway trying to beat the weather.
Yeah, there were some big ones. I mean, obviously the panel replacement on I-5.
Right.
They had concrete work they had to do that closed I-18 right there in Auburn. They were going to close once 405 through Renton, as they're still trying to work on that widening project, trying to get some of the stuff that is weather dependent done before. As we've seen, the weather's turned a little this week. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's going to start going that direction.
Have they completed everything they wanted to before the weather breaks? Or getting a couple more weekends?
We've got a couple more weekends coming up, and Revive I-5 is actually coming back, weather permitting or not, for 6 weekends starting next weekend, the 10th, not this weekend. And they're going to have 6 weekends of full 2-lane closures on southbound I-5 across the Ship Canal Bridge. That'll go, I think they're 2 in October, and then there's one in December and January and November. So
tell us,
they're working on that.
Give us an update on this bridge on 167. We had, was it just last week?
Yeah, it was last week. Yeah.
Last week, somebody drove a truck into one of the bridge. Is it a truss? What did they hit?
Okay, well, basically, this was a dump truck or a truck loader, one of those things that carry like the big 40-yard dump, recycling bin things right there. Yeah. They load it up and then they recycle, they get rid of it. They dump it off the back of their truck. So it was kind of one of those kind of a dump truck size thing. It had just finished dumping its load at Valley Recycling, which is just off of 3rd Street in Pacific. And then it was driving eastbound on 3rd Street underneath 167. And according to the police report that we just got, the 70-year-old driver forgot to put it down. He dumped the trailer off the back and then drove off the lot with it in the up and raised position.
Yeah, in the dump position.
So that hit the underpasses.
Wasn't initially it was listed as an illegal load? Like, was it oversized load?
Well, they said oversized load,
yeah.
But yeah, this is really what the definition of that was.
Failure to lower your truck.
Yeah, and so the driver was cited for negligent driving in the 2nd degree, $564 fine for that. I mean, that's a pretty significant issue.
The bridge is shut down now for
months now. They don't have a final timeline for what it's going to take, because it did a number on those girders. They're going to have to replace at least one of those girders.
Well, what size is this bridge when compared to the White River Bridge, which also has a girder issue?
Well, technically, this is bigger, because this handles 6 or more lanes of traffic.
Yeah.
But the part that was hit was the northbound part of this bridge. The southbound side wasn't damaged for some reason. I don't know how you missed a bunch of things going that direction and then hit.
It probably knocked the truck down.
It may have.
Once it hit it.
But
maybe he hit the first one and goes, oh yeah, and hit a button that went low.
Well, at that point you stop. You would think.
Well, you'd hope.
But so this was a person
some
with
people are very determined.
It was a something pretty preventable. I don't know how you drive off the yard in that position. I'm sure. I mean, accidents happen, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's what we're looking at for this gentleman.
I feel bad for that guy. 70 years old. He's driving a truck like that. Obviously, accidents do happen, but that's unfortunate. I don't imagine it's 70. Probably not the first time he's driven one of these trucks. Probably something he's done like 1,000 times successfully, and for whatever reason, this time you just forget.
Yeah, there's a newer truck too, 2020 truck. So it probably, I'm assuming, has some of the bells and whistles in there that include, warnings in your car, in the truck, in the cab that let you know potentially that you're driving
truck
with
bed
this
is
thing.
Up.
I got a lot of notes from truck drivers and people who drive these recyclers. I was like, how did he get off the yard? My truck does dun dun dun. Or other people going, man, it's kind of sad. There's a guy at 70 years old still having to do this because to make ends meet. But
private company, private contractor.
Well, it says it's part of the company that was where he was making his load. He's apparently an employee of Valley Recycling, which is where this was.
Will they be then on the hook for the cost of bridge
That's
repair?
the way it usually goes. Yeah, I mean, in a situation like this,
they're bonded. They've got insurance.
Correct. The state will then go after that company to recoup the costs of what it takes to basically fix a bridge like this.
What's funny about this is, it's not funny, but this poor company is going to have to foot the cost of this bridge.
Yeah.
Washington State on that White River Bridge, they don't even have the money to fix that bridge at the cost of, what was it, like $4 or $5 million?
Well, the thing is they're going to go after that company too, because that was also an overheight truck.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is like, the idea that this small company can somehow afford to fix it, which they can't, which is why you have insurance. When Washington State itself was like, all right, federal government, can we please have some money? We don't have any money to fix this bridge right now. That's a tough spot.
And we'll see where we go, where they try to get the money from this. But if you go think back to our biggest, one of our most important bridge collapses, the one up in Skagit.
Yeah.
It took them 6 years in court to get that money.
Really?
Yeah. That happened in 2013. It didn't get finalized. It went all the way to the state Supreme Court before that was decided. It took 6 years.
But they finally got the money.
They finally got the money to fix the bridge. But that's how long some of these things can take. But that's the next recourse. I mean, this is just so fresh. Obviously the driver's been decided, but now they have to find a way to pay for fixing that, which is. We've been driving it now for almost 10 days, a week now, and it's disaster. It's horrible in the morning because of that, and it's not getting any better.
All right, well, that's Chris Sullivan. He gave WSDOT a B+ for the summer. Next summer, let's try to get that up to at least an A-. Would be nice.
I didn't want to seem like an apple polishing over.
Oh, sure.
Kissing WSDOT's booty. You didn't want to go there.
That makes sense. All right, that's Chris Sullivan. You can hear him daily on Seattle's Morning News. We will be right back.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
While you're getting ready every morning, make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
Hey, Spike O'Neill for Integrity Roofing and Construction. You've heard me talk about Integrity for quite a while now, but and what a great company they are. Well, in October, they're going to put their money where your roof is. Integrity Roofing and Construction is giving away a free roof to someone in need. That's right, a free roof. You can nominate someone you know who could use a free roof and protection for their home at integrityrc.com. Go there, click on the Integrity Cares page. What a huge opportunity for somebody to upgrade and protect their home. Nominate somebody in need today at integrityrc.com at the Integrity Cares page. integrityrc.com. Doing the right thing matters.
Whatever temperatures this winter brings, your friendly and knowledgeable Bryant dealer is ready to help. Your dealer is committed to achieving a high level of training and skills backed by outstanding products from one of the industry's most trusted names, Bryant. Whether you need a quick fix or an entirely new heating system, your local Bryant dealer will do whatever it takes for your family's comfort.
Schedule an appointment today. Visit BryantNorthwest.com for a dealer near you. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977. And we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
Hey, this is Jake Skorheim. You know what's stressful? A leaky roof. That's why Valentine Roofing offers a leak stop guarantee. They'll stop the leak for free until your brand new Valentine roof can be safely installed. No stress, no mess, no more buckets in your living room. And with 0 down financing for most projects, you can get the work done now and pay over time. So choose the Valentine experience. Seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, extra mile service, and every new roof backed by a lifetime warranty. Call 206 Roofing and get your free estimate today. That's 206 roofing.
Has it been hot in your house this summer? Maybe worried about the cold coming in this fall and into the winter? Might be because your insulation's just not up to snuff. That was my problem, Mike Salk here, and that's why I called Crawl Pros. They came out, they did a corner-to-corner inspection of my crawl space and attic, and they fixed that problem once and for all. If your home has any damaged insulation or no insulation in the attic or crawl space, you're bleeding money every month to heat and cool your home, but you don't have to. And even better, if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Yeah, 95%, but you got to act now. Many of these rebates are ending at the end of this year, including the federal incentives. Let Crawl Pros come out and properly insulate your home before the cooler fall weather comes in. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com.
Are your investment dollars working as hard as they should be? You've spent years building your future. Don't let outdated advice put it at risk. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. We're a veteran-owned firm proud to bring a new standard of financial care to the Seattle area. Our nationally recognized advisors are fiduciaries, ethically bound to put your interests first. That's the highest standard of care in the industry. As a privately held company, we answer to you, our valued clients, not shareholders. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a customized plan. From Bellevue to Tacoma, get advice you can count on. It's time to take a fresh look at your financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter, dream bigger.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Cars for Kids, your trusted charity for car donations, also accepts donations of boats, RVs, motorcycles, and real estate. Call today, 877-CARS4KIDS.
All right, welcome back. We got a lot of text messages, a lot of opinions about everything we discussed today. Let's just jump right in. Laura, go for it.
On lead in school water.
Oh, yeah, big story. Big story today.
Was among many tags with a correction, so I felt like it was worth including.
Okay.
The lake next to the freeway in Bellingham is Lake Samish. Lake Whatcom is east of I-5 not visible from the freeway.
Thank you guys so much. So, so 360, they say the lake next to the freeway in Bellingham is Lake Sammamish. Thank you so much.
Samish.
I'm just kidding, you guys. We're trying to get more text messages.
I'm a Lake Blewett because I blew that one. Thank you very much. Athena in Port Orchard says, sounds like they need to have an emergency reappropriation of funds if they really care about the safety of the kids. But it's fine because in 100 years, they will have replaced everything with PEX piping and they will start having unacceptable levels of microplastics in the water.
That's a big thing too, microplastics. You can't get away from it. It's either lead or it's microplastics.
That's why I go with copper.
Copper.
Remember Moonstruck? Copper. I only use copper.
Copper's the key.
That's the key.
That's what I always say. Actually, can you guys text in? We should discuss this tomorrow. I was thinking, like, one of the things that our show needs, now that we're coming up to 1 year working together, I feel like we don't have a show like I don't have a catchphrase that I say all the time, like copper's key. Like, that's a joke. I don't actually say that all the time. But if we can come up with one, I'm thinking I like it. It's in the pocket or something.
You know, our anniversary is tomorrow.
Tomorrow is?
Tomorrow.
Of 1 year working together?
Yes.
All right, we'll spend some time for our 1 year thinking about catchphrases.
And we need your help.
That's what people like is catchphrases. Like, we'll come up with them tomorrow. Don't worry about it today. Amy in Redmond says KIRO is not in a new building. Makes you wonder how many buildings have too much lead. Yeah, they all do. I think they all do.
So is Amy making a comment about our loss of IQ points being related to the lead in our copper pipes in the building?
Well,
maybe, or lead pipes in the building?
Well, I don't drink the water in this building.
I drink a lot of water.
I ship it in.
Where do you import from?
I import it. France. Very important French water.
Laura?
Oh, Ron in Issaquah says, would someone explain to us elderly folks how we survive drinking water from lead pipes, breathing air contaminated from gasoline, and living in homes painted with lead paint? Einstein, for example.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Good question, Ron.
You know, the Gen Zers call it the lead paint stare for boomers.
What does that mean?
You guys not heard that one?
No.
You know, the lead paint stare?
Well, if they want me
I mean,
to
do it, but it's just kind of like a glazed eye look.
I do it constantly. Just look over any time during the show and
It's
I'm
just
doing
called
it.
being tired. I think it's just called being tired.
If they didn't want me to eat lead paint chips, I should have made them so delicious. A random aside says, Big Al in the 360 says, Jake, thank you for saying Bob's your uncle. I feel like I'm the only person who ever says that. There's your catchphrase.
All right.
Boom, Bob's
Big
your
Al,
uncle.
yeah. You're totally welcome. Bob's your uncle. There you go. All right. On teens found with a stockpile of guns, Athena in Port Orchard said these cartels know that teenagers do not have to do hard time, and they will be out and able to run their weapons sooner than if an adult got caught. The only way to get these kids out of that system is to treat them like adults and charge them like adults. I think she's right. There does need to be some serious punishments to deter the crime. Absolutely.
Mike in Clearview says send them to military school for 4 years.
Yeah, heck yeah. I'm up for that.
Glenn in Seatox says, about the 17-year-old girl reminds me of what my father told me when I was a teenager. If you hang around knuckleheads, you're going to be a knucklehead.
That's really simple, good advice.
And harsh words.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a knucklehead.
Yeah, don't say knucklehead.
564 on low math scores in our state. 564 says the problem is how they teach math these days. It seems more confusing with the methods they're using. 1 + 1 = 2. Not 4 different ways to make that happen.
I'll tell you what.
You're teaching your kids new math, right?
This is, no, I teach them old math. I don't teach them any of this newfangled stuff. We should have a real conversation about the way that they just educate in our state. They've totally bought into ridiculous things. Like for a long time, they got rid of phonics, which everybody just understands that phonics works.
Yeah.
They had this whole thing where they would teach the kids to not try to sound out the word and instead try to look at the pictures on the page and guess what the words might be trying to say. Not even a joke. That's a real thing adopted by schools in our state, where they would teach the kids, look at the picture, see what you can surmise from this picture before the reading. And it makes you scratch your head and go, what in the hell are they doing? And so we were very excited because our school district said, hey, you know what? We're going to like secretly go back to phonics, even though the state wants us to teach pictures.
Allegedly. We're not going to
Let's say a picture's worth 1,000 words.
It's not worth a single word.
If you can't pronounce it.
A word is worth a word. All right, we got short time here, so I'm going to read this last one. On the high school coach whose team lost 100-0, Eric says, God bless the coach of the losing football team. I played baseball and t-ball through high school. I once was the reason for losing a game-winning opportunity. I threw my batter's helmet and started to have a fit. My coach ran up on me and got in my face and told me, boy, pick that helmet up and walk that handshake line with your heads up, and I'll make you regret this. I did what I was told. I'm 52 years old now, and that memory is burned into my soul. Regardless of what's going on in life, I've never had a problem looking another man in the eyes and shaking his hand, regardless of how defeated or embarrassed I felt. Thank you, coaches. That's a great message, Eric.
Yeah, it is.
Perfect one to end on.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. We've got a lot of stuff we're going to come back with tomorrow, so tune in then. John Curley's coming up next, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
This March, Wendy's is fueling the madness with amazing deals on their hamburgers made with fresh, never frozen beef.
Like a juicy Dave's single for $1 and a fresh $2 Dave's double with in-app offer.
It's such a good deal, we wrote a little ditty about it.
Get it for $1. Dave's
Dave Single, order in the app. Dave Single, get it for $1. Choose wisely, choose Wendy's, official hamburger March Madness.
Limited time offer, participating U.S. Wendy's. See offer details and redeem at Wendy's app. Account registration required. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S. and Alaska.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Homes are sitting, but the bottleneck is about to break. Set yourself up for success by working with a team that doesn't just set up your listings and let it sit. The Novak team creates a marketing strategy that's hands down proven successful. Mike sold over 1,500 homes and guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If Mike doesn't get your home under contract within 21 days, he sells it for free. That is no commission for Mike. Go to meetthenovaks.com. That's meetthenovaks, NOVAKS.com.
Many retirees are enjoying the retirement lifestyle, but not the high cost of living. We're here with our friend Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage, who says a reverse mortgage may provide some stress relief.
If you're struggling with your mortgage payments or other bills, or maybe you just like some extra money, a reverse mortgage allows you to tap your home equity for tax-free cash. You've worked hard to build up that equity in your home. Now let it work for you. And best of all, you'll have no mortgage payments the rest of your life.
But as you always say, a reverse mortgage is not for everyone.
That's right. Avoid the high-pressure sales pitch from those out-of-state call centers. I give you a consultation, not a sales pitch. I'll tell you if a reverse mortgage is right for you, and I always tell you if it's not.
Honest advice you can trust from the reverse mortgage experts. Best Mortgage, the VA loan experts and debt consolidation specialists too. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Hey man, gaining weight, dragging throughout the day, losing your drive? It could be your testosterone. The team at Revive Men's Health Washington gets men back on track with the energy and drive they've been missing. Meet Tyler, Revive Men's Health Director of Operations, and witness to hundreds of success stories.
I've seen guys come in worn out, discouraged, and just not themselves. A few months into treatment, they're standing taller, speaking with more confidence. It's like watching someone come back to life, like a light switch gets turned back on. And the spouse says, "Thank you, I really have my partner back, better than before." That's the moment it all clicks for me, and that's why I do what I do.
Since 2011, Revive Men's Health has helped more than 120,000 men regain their energy and drive. Start your story today with an in-clinic visit or a secure video appointment. Call 206-529-1111 now to book your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. That's 206-529-1111 or schedule anytime at revivemenshealth.com.
Your best source for local news, KIRO News Radio.